Hello, fellow homebrewers. JP here, and I want to introduce to you the brand new Brewbuilt X1 Conical Series available at More Beer. More Beer sells the highest standard in homebrewing equipment, and the Brewbuilt Conicals are just that. They're made from mirror-polished 304 stainless steel, and they come with loads of features that you and I have been looking for. They have a full 2-inch bottom dump valve, which will eliminate your clogging issues, while the sturdy base includes 4 reinforced legs, just like those big Pro tanks do. More Beer also carries the Brewbuilt line of options and add-ons like casters, pressure kits, and even external glycol chillers. So you can find out more about the new Brewbuilt X1 Conical Unitanks by going over to morebeer.com for detailed videos on the entire line of Brewbuilt Conicals. You can trust Brewbuilt with your next fermentation, and you can trust More Beer to find the right conical for you. Brewbuilt at morebeer.com.
Today's Sunday session is proudly brought to you by More Beer at www.morebeer.com.
I poured it in my mouth and it just wasn't going down.
My first beer was an IPA, the best IPA I've ever drank. Mostly because I brewed it.
If you have a scale that is good for measuring cocaine, you're probably good for measuring hops on it.
You're scaring me.
I think the information is awesome and the audio sucks.
Make some sugary water, throw some yeast in there, and you're going to drink good beer. Yeah, it's going to be good. It's fine.
God damn it, man. Oh, my God. Oh, uh-oh.
Now, live from the Brewing Network studios in Northern California, this is the radio program for home brewers, craft brewers, beer lovers, and beer geeks. It's your only source for live beer radio that brings expert brewers together with, well, expert drinkers. This is the radio program with a head on it. This is The Session.
Welcome to the show, everybody. It's good to be back in the studio after a weekend away at the Firestone Walker Invitational Beer Fest. I'll tell you what, I'm going to be honest right now. This is the first
time you've been honest on the air?
Incredibly awesome festival I've been to that I didn't leave with a hangover. I left feeling great.
Yeah, that was okay.
A little underslept, but not. I mean, I didn't overdo it. In fact, I kind of hit a wall Saturday night after the whole thing. Not drunk, but I sort of was sick of talking to everybody, I went to bed.
So did I. I was in bed by 11:30.
Well,
it was awesome.
I was in bed
I think
by 10.
I beat you. I think JP. Here's the first, ladies and
I
gentlemen.
was texting him at about 8:39, 9:30, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was in my van by 9:30. I think I was in. I was like, I'm just going to go hang out by myself for a second.
Oh, I love doing
because
that.
I
were full.
I can't entertain anybody anymore. And shit, an hour later, I was like, I'm going to bed. I just went to bed.
Yeah, if you don't have your A game, you shouldn't have any game at all. You know what I'm saying? Why do that? You know?
That's my point exactly, Tasty. I was on my way back to hang out with the brewers at the tent, and I thought, you know what? I'm just going to stare these guys in the face and have nothing to say.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be entertaining. I'm not going to be fun.
Yeah.
I don't even want to smile right now.
Right.
And I thought the same thing. If I'm not going to go and be me, I might as well not go.
Right.
Now, that said...
I mean, when you get to that point, I have a second option. I go find a drunk chick.
You're right.
Then you get like a pass because you're drunk. You know? You see it, I'm sorry.
That's a good call.
Well, you were trying to talk me into driving the 3 hours down there at about 8.
Yeah, I was like, come on down, man.
And I said,
it's an easy drive.
I'm not going to get there till about midnight. He goes, everybody's going to be asleep. I go, no, I'll rally them up. And you go, stay home, Doc.
Yeah, that's the problem. I didn't need it. Didn't want it.
We had a great party Friday night at the campground.
And that's
my God.
part of
what
what
a reception was that? That was great.
It was great. Tasty's tasting room was in full effect.
It was in swinging.
Yeah.
It was like it had a VIP lounge in it.
And that's where I did all my, my pre-partying.
Yeah.
Then I worked Saturday and did some post-partying at the festival itself. But that's what, it was the great Friday night. I didn't need a great Saturday night.
Right.
I like that, Tasty. If we could do that with Boonville and all the other events, just make the great night the night before.
We do that in Boonville.
Yeah, but then we do it again the next night, and that's what I need to miss.
The next day is the day of work. It's like you party, you work, and then you just go to bed early.
Oh, I see. Yeah. See, I never do that. And
I don't either.
This is the first time I've done that.
I don't go to bed.
And it worked. 888-401-BEER. We're doing something just a little bit different tonight. We've got Savor tickets to give away. And
what is Savor besides a craft beer, American craft beer experience?
It's a food taste, not savory.
It's focusing on food within the culinary arts and essentially not just that, but how food and beer play together, and how beer is actually a consumable in line with wonderful food as well. It's a tasting experience that has in the past couple of years actually happened in Washington, D.C., but this year it's in New York City. And we've got 4 passes to give away. We're going to give away 2 tickets to each contestant tonight on Brews Line Is It Anyway? The catch is we're doing it right now. And we figured we'd do this because most of the people who can win tickets at this late in the game probably already have to be on the East Coast, and we didn't want to have to make them wait up till 11 o'clock at night. Savor happens June 14th and 15th in New York City.
New York City!
I'm not looking to give you tickets if you can't make it. And don't be a scalper either. Although I think tickets might be available for purchase anyway, so you might not have much luck scalping. But the Brewers Association was kind enough to give us 4 passes. We're going to give away 2 to each winner of Brews Line Is It Anyway? And we're doing Brews Line right here in the beginning of the program to give you East Coasters a chance to play and win. We're going to do 2 different games, and we got to get them done quickly.
Let's do them right now.
Because we've got our guest coming up, too. We got just a full show lined up for you. We're talking to Don Joe Sixpack Russell. He's the co-founder of Philly Beer Week, and, of course, he's Joe Sixpack. He's been writing about the Philly beer scene in the region for years now.
Don Joe?
Yeah. Don Joe Sixpack Russell.
No.
So we're talking to Joe Sixpack tonight, and we're going to find out all about the founding of Philly Beer Week, plus what you can look forward to if you're going to make it out to Philly. We'll also have him give us some advice about where we should be going when we go to Philly for BNA 8 and the National Homebrewers Conference.
Blobber wants to know if they can change the date for him and also the location.
No.
No, on both. No on both.
No on both. That's correct.
Sorry, Blobber.
Moscow?
You want to take these callers and play some games?
Yeah, we ready to go?
Yeah, line 1, Kyle from Manlius, New York.
Let's do this one at a time.
Manlius? I
don't play games. I'm a straight shooter.
Kyle, what's happening, brother?
Nothing. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. You ready to try to win some tickets?
Absolutely.
All right. Have you ever played Brews Line Is It Anyway with us?
I have not.
Are you a listener of the Brewing Network?
I have listened for a year now.
Okay, so you got a chance.
A year straight, or did you take breaks and stuff in between?
Doesn't matter.
Could you repeat that?
It doesn't matter.
No, first he asked if you were straight, and then he asked us how are you listening.
Right, Kyle, right?
Yes, sir. Next one is Josh from New Brunswick, New Jersey.
Josh, what's happening?
Hi. Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Welcome to the program all the way from Jersey.
Thank you.
Have you listened to the show before?
All the time.
Okay, good. So you've got a chance at Brews Line Is It Anyway as well.
All right, our third contestant is Pete from Fort Greene, New York.
Pete, what's happening?
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing great. Welcome to the program. Have you listened to the show before?
I have, yeah.
All right, everybody's got a chance so far. And who's our last contestant?
Slim. Line 4 is Joe from Long Island.
Long Island.
Joe, what's happening?
Hey, how's it going?
Couple of New Yorkers. Got a Joyzy in there. I'm headed to New York after NHC.
Yeah, do a couple 2-3 things.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm going to be there for about 4 or 5 days.
2-3 days?
Couple of 2-3 days, hoping to get some beer in.
Nice.
All right, does everybody on the line know how to play Brews Line Is It Anyway?
No, I don't know how to play. Yes.
Okay.
Should we review?
I'll give a quick rundown. Here's what's going to happen. Moscow, our lovely producer, is going to read you a quote from one of who are the brewcasters involved in the quotes today, Moscow?
We have Justin, Tasty, Doc, Bevo, JP, or a caller.
Okay, so he's going to read the quote in his own stupid Jewy voice. And you have to guess which one of us said it. You got to buzz in and guess which one of us said it. And then finally, after you've all... Actually, you don't even have to buzz in. We'll just go down the line. You're all going to vote on who said it. Whoever's right gets a point. He'll actually play the clip, and it's pretty simple. So even if you don't know which one of us idiots says these stupid things, you could just throw out a name. So, you could also listen to the Brewcaster advice, because we'll all kind of say who we think it was.
No penalty for guessing.
Yeah. Best out of 5. It's a quick round, and whoever gets best out of 5 wins 2 tickets to Savor, which is June 14th and 15th. Are we clear?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Just to, since I screwed it up, just to reiterate, you don't have to buzz in. He'll read the quote, and then I'll just call on you guys. I'll just go down the line and call on you to tell us who you think it is. All right, Moscow, what's our first quote?
Well, I said tasty, right? Tasty is an option? Did I say that? Okay, good. All right, the first one is Schumann had... I'm just making sure. I wanted to make sure I said it.
You did.
Schumann has told me, and we had to clear it with his mother this week because I felt uncomfortable, he wants his ashes shot out of a potato gun.
Oh.
I know exactly who that is.
We say weird shit on this program.
And then don't remember it.
That's the key.
All right.
Yeah, it's best not to do that.
Let's just go right down the line. Let's start with Kyle. Kyle, who do you think said that?
Devo.
Bevo. All right. Kyle's in with Bevo. By the way, you guys will be allowed to change your votes here. Josh, who do you think it is?
I think Doc said it.
Doc. All right. Pete, who do you think it is?
I think it was Steve.
Which one?
Who's Steve?
Oh, you think
Caller?
it was a caller?
No.
Is that right? You think it was caller Steve-O?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
And finally, Joe.
I'm going to go with Justin.
Okay.
I know for a fact who it is.
I don't think...
Not for a fact.
I don't know that we should chime in on this one, because I think everyone in this room knows who it was. I don't think there's any varying opinions.
Right.
I don't
agree.
know who it was.
Doc doesn't know who it was?
No, I know. Okay, I can't say I know it wasn't me.
Okay.
I can't say that.
All right, Doc. Although you can or you cannot say that.
I cannot say. I can
You cannot
confirm
say
no,
it wasn't
not.
that it was you.
That's true with all my things too. I don't remember saying all that shit.
Maybe
But I
this,
think I know. Yeah.
maybe this should be the first Brewcaster list advice version.
At least for this round, because I know the answer.
Okay, I'm positive of the answer too, and not because I remember it.
All right, we're going to call those final votes.
You're locked in.
Moscow, play it.
Schumann has told me, and we had to clear it with his mother this week because I felt uncomfortable, he wants his ashes shot out of a potato gun.
That's Joe. It was me, Justin.
Nice work.
I did say that, and...
You do know that Feinstein made it illegal to have a potato gun and shoot potato guns in the California state.
That doesn't sound like the Feinstein I know.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, after...
We don't want potatoes getting hurt.
Just for a little context for listeners that don't know, after Schumann's dad died, he did confirm with me, and I think I was supposed to help make arrangements that it was okay to shoot his father's ashes out of a potato gun. And what a freakish family that is. All right, that's 1 point for Joe in a best out of 5 game. Give us our next quote, Moscow.
I've been drinking all day. Fuck, man. I'm 4 hours past wherever the fuck you are.
Oh, God, that could be anybody in this room.
Oh, my God.
That's a tough one. All right, we'll go backwards this time. Joe, let's start with you. And Moscow, read it once more.
I've been drinking all day. Fuck, man. I'm 4 hours past wherever the fuck you are.
All right, Joe.
Attitude.
Who do you think it is?
I'm going to go with Doc.
That's a fair guess right there.
Yes.
I mean, anything that has to do with being drunk, you know, but it's still, it really could be any of us. But, all right, Pete, what do you think?
I'm going to go with Doc.
Okay, another one for Doc there. And Josh, what do you think?
I'm going to go with Doc also.
Okay, everyone's doing the safe bet with Doc. And Kyle?
I'll round it out with Doc.
Okay. All right, well, if you're all right, that's going to keep Joe in the lead with 1 point. You're all wrong. It's still going to keep Joe in the lead with 1 point. Nobody else wants to go out on a limb and vote somebody else? Just throwing it out there.
They're all positive it's Doc.
Well, it's like Price is Right when you bet $1.
Yeah.
You know, just to fuck the other guy over.
Okay, I'm going to lock them all in with Doc.
Lock them in.
However, let's go ahead and talk about this just for a second.
I think it's a caller.
I also think it's a caller.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
which is why Doc is such a good bet on this one. But Doc is it's like 70% it was Doc and 30% it was a caller.
Yeah. The problem is it sounds like it's two different people. The second part sounds like a reply to the first part.
Right.
But it's not. And the only people that talk like that, I think, are callers who just want to get things out, right? And aren't, kind of. So that's my theory behind it.
By the way, East Coast contestants, it's usually an East Coast caller who would say something like that, too. Because, by the time the show starts, you guys have been getting hammered.
I'm 4 hours past wherever the fuck you are.
Can you do the Jersey accent?
All right, play it.
I've been drinking all day. Fuck, man. I'm 4 hours past wherever the fuck you are.
Caller indeed.
That's a caller. No points across the board, gentlemen. All right. Let's hear the next one.
Target gravity, to me, is an elusive and mythical thing, kind of like the female orgasm. I'm not positive that it exists.
It's not me.
Doc doesn't know how to
Doc knows
miss original gravity.
All right.
Got the longest tongue I've ever seen.
Let's start with Pete on this one.
I'm going to go with Doc again.
Okay. Going with Doc on that. And Josh, what do you think?
Hold on. Gotta think about this.
Would you read it again, Moscow?
I guess
Target.
I'm going to go with Doc for the third time.
Doc,
I'm going to win one of these times with Doc.
All right.
Target gravity, to me, is an elusive and mythical thing, kind of like the female orgasm. I'm not positive that it exists.
All right, let's go to Joe.
What are my choices again?
Justin, JP, Doc, Bevo, Tasty, Caller.
I'm going JP.
JP. All right. And Kyle, what do you think?
Oh, Tasty.
You going Tasty? All right. Final votes, everybody?
Yeah.
Final vote.
All right, we're going to lock that in. I'm going to go out here and say there's only two people in this room that they could be. It is most likely me, because I'm the one who can't hit a goddamn number to save my life.
Exactly.
But it's funny enough to be JP instead, because it's a little funnier than something I would say. But it would be JP maybe making fun of me or something, because he can hit his target numbers.
Well, maybe not the clitoris.
So,
I don't know if it's me because it sounds too coherent.
Oh, yeah.
All right, that's a good call.
It's not out of left field.
So, who's your vote?
I would say you. I would say you over me on that one because it sounds like a stream of consciousness, not something I garbled together out of the ghettos of my mind.
I'm thinking me too. Although now that there is the third option that it could very well be a caller, because there are a lot of callers that are as bad as I am at brewing, and some of them have a sense of humor. All right, why don't you play it, Moscow?
Target gravity to me is an elusive and mythical thing, kind of like the female orgasm. I'm not positive that it exists.
That's vintage Justin right there.
Yeah. That was definitely
Garage Justin.
By the way, even though I said that a long time ago, I'm still in firm belief of
Nothing has changed.
That is my statement. I'm sticking to it.
Did anyone get Jay on that one?
Nobody. Nope.
No. Come on, I don't miss numbers.
All right, what do you got next?
Hey JP, fuck you. I got that for free.
Okay. Let's start with Josh on this one. Josh, who do you think said that?
I'm going to stay a caller.
Okay. Kyle?
I'm going to go with Doc.
Going with Doc. Joe?
I'm going caller.
And Pete?
I'm going Tasty.
Okay. They're across the board, these guys.
Yeah. What is the quote again?
Playing the field there.
Hey JP, fuck you. I got that for free.
Okay, who says fuck
Tasty's.
you, JP the most?
Tasty. That's a good guess. No, but on the air.
Really?
Right.
Yeah, not off the air.
Right.
Really?
No,
I'm sure that's a caller.
It comes out of
I remember when he said it.
Ooh, Bevo. That's true. Bevo's a good vote on that.
Oh,
Yeah,
she
but
has a dirty
overt
mouth.
with the F word, though?
Yeah.
It would be like, I'm going to cut you, JP.
Yeah.
It's a caller.
but-
I guarantee it.
But she'd say it to him and not to us.
Change your votes, guys. It's a call.
No, they're locked in.
Oh,
I
they're
say
locked in.
caller or Tasty, but
Really?
I'm leaning toward caller, too.
I think he's offended.
Really? It's
All right.
a cheap shot, you know?
Play it.
Hey, JP, fuck you. I got that for free.
All right, that puts Pete on the board. He's the only one who voted tasty. Good call, Pete.
Wahoo!
All right, Joe and Pete are tied with 1 point apiece. Let's get the next one.
Pabst Brewing Company, they have their brews beered. So you can argue that they are brewed by Pabst because they are contracted by them.
They have their brews beard?
That's correct.
Oh, well, then that's only one person.
Yeah, who's the most confusing person in the room?
They have their brews
I'll give you a real
beard.
short guess.
Was that even a sentence?
No! Okay, who hasn't
radio.
gone first yet? Maybe Pete. It doesn't matter. Pete, go ahead. Who do you think that is?
They have their bruised beard, unlike everybody else. I'm going to go with caller.
All right, Pete says caller on that one. Kyle, who do you think it is?
Kyle.
Hoping for Doc this time.
Okay. Josh, what do you think?
Doc.
Okay. And finally, Joe.
I'm going to go back to JP again.
Okay. So, locked in. JP was one of my thoughts because it's somewhat incoherent. However, actually, I take that back. What makes me confused is that it's actually incredibly incoherent.
It's past the JP level of incoherence.
So it's Doc or a Drunk of the Week caller. And it must have come from somewhere, some content in the show, which makes me think it's Doc. Because something happened, and then Doc came up with that.
Well, if I would say, the only time I say Pabst Blue Ribbons when I say Pabst Blue Ribbon from
Blue Velvet.
From Blue Velvet.
All right.
So,
well, play the clip.
Pabst Brewing Company, they have their brews beard, so you can argue that they are brewed by Pabst because they're contracted by them.
their beer's blue.
I'm telling you, it was my first instinct, but then it just got too confusing.
Their brews beard, so...
Bruiser beard.
I was going with JP the whole way because he's the only one that even thinks about Pabst.
Well, that's true, too. That gives Joe another point because he's the only one who voted JP. One more point, and Joe's going to walk away with 2 tickets to Savor. What's the next quote?
Their brews beard.
That's a great job, Scott. That's a great clip.
Thank you. The next one is, Shaddy's very polite. Shaddy will always push in your stool. Very polite.
This show.
A visual on that was just...
This game always makes me want to cancel our show.
We should edit it.
Yeah, double down on the broadcast. Cancel.
Yeah.
All right, Joe, who do you think said that?
You, Justin.
All right, Joe's going with me. Pete?
I'm going to go Devo.
Bevo?
No, well...
Josh?
JP.
And Kyle?
Tasty.
All right. Say it again.
Shaddy's very polite. Shaddy will always push in your stool. Very polite.
All right, anybody else want to change their vote? Last chance?
I guess not.
Okay.
Does someone have 2? Someone has 2, right?
Joe has 2. He's the only one who could win with this one, and he locked in. He voted me. And I think I'm on the short list of this one.
I agree because no one else calls him Shaddy.
Yeah.
It's you or Doc.
Yeah. Unless he's going... Daniela's not in the list.
No Daniela.
It's me and Daniela that calls him Shaddy.
It's not Bevo at all. Bevo says Chad.
I think it's me. I think Joe's about to win.
Would Daniela have said push in your stool?
No, that was going to be my next argument. That she calls him Shaddy, but wouldn't have known enough English to understand push.
She would have said F in the A, right?
She would have meant it literally.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I think it's Doc.
You're going Doc. Okay.
Who are the options again? By the way, I know, but
it's everybody.
whatever.
It's everybody.
All right.
Everybody but Danielle.
All right. Let's hear it.
Shaddy's very polite. Shaddy will always push in your stool.
Doc!
Very polite.
It was Doc.
No, I know that one because that's one of my old jokes about pushing in your stool.
Nobody voted Doc. So we're still at it here.
That one I knew was me.
I'm incredibly awesome at this game. I just want you all to know that.
Yeah, you are always good at it. What's next?
I was trying to be nice to you by saying I feel bad for you, but You crying little bitch.
I know that one.
I know that one too.
Yeah.
All right.
I know who it's directed at too.
All right. Kyle, what do you think?
Tasty.
All right. Kyle's going tasty. Josh?
You see what I've done to your character with that game, Tasty?
You take it the essence of my being shittiness.
It's like when people go to psychics and they get 90% of the questions wrong.
Yeah.
People forget about, but they only remember the 10%. People only remember the 10% about you,
right.
about
Exactly.
all the things.
All right, Josh.
I ain't letting my worst behavior.
Tasty.
Jesus.
Josh also going tasty.
Can I hear that clip again? Can I hear it?
Say it again.
Say it again.
You know, I was trying to be nice to you by saying I feel bad for you, but you know, you crying little bitch.
Pete.
That does sound like tasty.
I'm going to go JP.
All right.
But I don't think it is.
And Joe.
I'm going back to Justin again. I think it's you.
All right. Locking him in. I don't think it's tasty this time.
Absolutely
Bevo.
not. Totally Bevo.
I wouldn't say
100%.
To JP.
Yeah,
No. I think it's Bevo to someone else.
Or to Justin.
Maybe to Scott.
You crying little bitch.
Yeah. You know, I was
Probably
saying
the-
that to be nice to you, but you crying little bitch or whatever
good
the
call.
fuck the quote
It's
is.
yeah. I'm gonna because I wouldn't say something like I was saying that to be nice to you. I don't think.
Yeah, no, you would just say you're a bitch.
Yeah, I would just say you're a crying little bitch.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's hear it, Moscow.
You know, I was trying to be nice to you by saying I feel bad for you, but you know, crying little bitch.
Wow.
Yep.
And was it to JP for the extra point? Probably so.
I don't. This
You don't
I
remember
pulled
the
this long
context.
ago. I don't. But God love that Bevo.
Crying little bitch.
All right. What's next?
What kind of a friend is that? If I have problems, you wouldn't want to sit next to me and help me? And I was like, fuck no.
Okay. Joe, who do you think? I know it.
I know it too.
Could you play that last clip again for me right now?
The
last one before.
You want me to read this clip to you?
No, that's right.
Guys, I'm short on time. Let me power through this. Joe, who do you think said that?
I'll go Doc.
Going with Doc on that one. Pete, what do you think?
I'm going to go Tasty.
Okay. Josh?
Doc.
And finally, Kyle.
Tasty.
Read it again.
What kind of a friend is that? If I have problems, you wouldn't want to sit next to me and help me? And I was like, fuck no.
I know exactly who it is, and I know who it was to.
Exactly right. I know the same things that you just said.
These guys aren't very good at Bruise Line, is it? Because this one is...
it's painted all over the front of that one.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to give each and every one of you a chance right now to change your vote. And while I could be wrong, I would recommend you take the chance.
Yeah. Not that he knows the answer.
And I'm not looking at the answer, I promise
No, he's
you.
really not.
But I am 90% sure that you all should take another guess.
Yeah. Mulligan.
So I'll start back with Joe. Who do you think said it? And you can stay with your guess by all means. You know,
don't let us change your vote.
You got me thinking now.
Well, that's a good start.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a bad thing.
All right, I'm going to come back to Joe. Kyle, what do you think?
I'll go with Bevo then.
All right, Kyle's switching over to the Beeve. Josh, what do you think?
I'm staying.
Staying with Doc, okay. And
Yeah.
Pete, what do you think?
I am also going to switch to Devo.
Switching to Bevo. All right, and finally, Joe, we're back to you. What do you think?
All right, I'm submitting to peer pressure. I'm going to go Bevo too.
Okay, I'll make those the final answers. I think you're all wrong.
Yeah.
It's me to JP.
Absolutely.
He wanted me to get on an airplane with him, and I was like, "Fuck that, you little sissy boy."
Yeah.
And you're like, "But I'm your friend. You wouldn't want to help?" Fuck no.
Yeah, absolutely.
Play it.
What kind of friend is that? If I have problems, you wouldn't want to sit next to me and help me? And I was like, fuck no.
Absolutely.
Oh, boys, I'm trying to help you out here. All right, Moscow, you got another one?
Yeah, I got a couple more, so somebody guess one right, will you? The next one is he was sitting there drinking, thinking about his parents' sex life. Weird thing, I was thinking the same thing.
Oh, I know exactly who that is.
What's going on here?
I know exactly who that is.
Josh, who said it? Why don't you read it again, Moscow?
He was sitting there drinking, thinking about his parents' sex life. Weird thing, I was thinking the same thing.
JP.
All right, Josh is going with JP.
Ooh, actually,
Pete, what do you think?
I'm going Tasty as well.
You're moving over to Tasty. Okay. We had one JP, one Tasty. Kyle?
JP.
And Joe.
I'm going JP too.
Okay, I'll lock him in there. Read it again.
He was sitting there drinking, thinking about his parents' sex life. Weird thing, I was thinking the same thing.
I don't know this one.
It could be. I'm thinking it's either Tasty or Doc.
I got Doc on my list.
Again, I can't help you.
If he's telling a story about the past, but I got JP on my list because it's creepy, right?
A little bit.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's JP. I'm going to go with JP on this one.
I don't think it's me just because how it's phrased.
Okay, let's hear it.
He was sitting there drinking, thinking about his parents' sex life. Weird thing, I was thinking the same thing.
Doc, you guys are terrible. Well, I'll tell you what.
I wouldn't have guessed me.
I got one more.
All right.
The last one.
Okay, we'll give it one more. This is it, though. Right now, here's how it's going to go, guys. Joe is in the lead with 2 points.
Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
If nobody gets another point, Joe's our winner. Even though it's supposed to be 3 out of 5, I got to move on. We got an interview to do. So Joe is in the lead. So someone's got to tie Joe.
We could be here all night for 3 out of 5.
Or Joe's got to get it, or no points. What's the next one?
There are 2 things you don't do if you're in love with a woman, and I'm going to tell you them right now. You don't buy her tits, and you do not tattoo her name to your body.
Easy peasy, this one is.
Yeah?
Ooh. That's advice I give all the time.
We're going to start with Kyle. What's your vote?
JP.
All right. And Josh, what's your vote?
JP.
And Pete, what's your vote?
Dustin? I'm going Dustin.
Justin, all right. And Joe, what's your vote?
I'm going to go Justin too.
Well, this is going to put us in a predicament because I know exactly who said. In fact, it's you guys are all locked in, by the way. This is a lifelong philosophy of the brewcaster.
Yeah.
This brewcaster learned it in the desert at about age 14.
This brewcaster made a sign that says it and put it on the wall.
What mistake did you make?
Go ahead and play it, Moscow. There are 2 things you don't do if you're in love with a woman, and I'm going to tell you them right now. You don't buy her tits, and you don't tattoo her name to your body. That means Joe is our winner.
Yeah.
Just in the nick of time.
Now, Pete, it did give you 2 points, but it brought Joe to the best 3 out of 5 first, and it gives him 2 tickets to Savor.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, thank you all for playing. I would like to say you did a good job.
We'd like to say that.
Average at best.
But most of all, I actually thank you very much for calling in and playing with us. I'm sorry we couldn't get you tickets. We are going to do another game, I think, later in the show to give away a couple more tickets. So, listeners, be ready. Hey, Joe, send me an email. Yep. Justin@thebrewingnetwork.com. Justin@thebrewingnetwork.com. I'm going to hook you up with your 2 tickets to Savor.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks for playing, guys. You did fun, is what you did. You did fun.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Bye, everybody. Cheers.
Thanks. Bye.
Goodbye. Thanks.
All right. Good game, fellas. Joe, well done. We got 2 Savor tickets for you. All right. We were going to try to give away all 4 tickets here in the beginning, but I'll tell you what, that game just took a little bit too long. New Yorkers or East Coasters, hang in there. I got about a half hour, maybe 40-minute interview to do, and then we'll give away 2 more tickets to Savor. So you can have another beer, stay awake for another 40 minutes, and we'll give you some tickets for that. That's easy, right?
Super easy, bro.
All right. JP, before I go to break, do we have a Twitter game?
We do have a Twitter game.
All right. Twitter is brought to you today. Who did it this week? I'm gonna somebody very important.
Well, somebody that we can't live without.
think it's Nico, bro.
Oh, well, I changed my mind.
I was thinking Adam.
No, I had it wrong.
Adam and Eve.
Hoptech. You can go to Hoptech Homebrew. Go over to Hoptech.com. Hoptech are longtime sponsors of ours. In fact, we saw Jade and Roberto. Jade's a badass bitch, you know. We saw them down at the Firestone Walker Invitational Beer Festival. They were having fun over there. And they are good people down in sunny Dublin, California. They run a great little shop down there. Roberto is always happy to share his beer with you as well as his knowledge. Not only are they listeners, but they are sponsors and supporters of this show, and they are bringing you tonight's Twitter game. JP?
Tonight's Twitter game is Doc has a confession to make to you. What is it?
I love this game.
Thank you very much.
JP, this is in your top one.
Oh, fudge!
Ever. Of Twitter games. Say it once more.
Wow.
I said, Doc has a confession to make to you. What is it?
This is great. All right, that's our Twitter game for tonight. Tweet it into Brewing Network, and at the end of the game, we'll pick a winner, and then you'll win a prize. It's an unknown prize. It's a lot like a gift so sensual we can't announce it on air, but really it's just a thing we never know. Is that close enough?
Yes.
Just don't know what the hell it is. It's a gift so awesome we don't know what it is. It's the session. When we come back, we're talking to Don Russell. He's also known as Joe Sixpack. We're going to talk about Philly Beer Week and more. Hang in there. It's the session, and we'll be right back, kids.
Crying little bitch.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. On the Brewing Network.
Since the first time the Brewing Network microphones turned on, More Beer was behind it. More Beer sponsors the programming on the BN because, like you, they love brewing. And like the Brewing Network, they love sharing their knowledge. Morebeer.com isn't just a website to place your next equipment or ingredient order. Morebeer.com also gives you access to free beer information that will make you a better brewer. Go to morebeer.com and click into the Learning Center. You'll find podcasts, technical facts, video tutorials, and more, including access to The Buzz, More Beer's social network of more than 5,000 members. And some of them might even be crazier about beer than you are. Get over to morebeer.com today and take advantage of The Buzz, the forum, the Learning Center, and make sure you're signed up to receive the newest More Beer catalog. More Beer, bringing you absolutely everything for beer making.
Hi, I'm Jamel Zainasheff, and in addition to my work on the Brewing Network, I write the Style Profile column in every issue of Brew Your Own magazine.
Hi, I'm Sean Paxton, and when I'm not prepping for the Home Brewed Chef on the Brewing Network, you can find me writing articles on how to cook with your home brew for Brew Your Own magazine.
Greetings, cretins. This is John Palmer, and when I'm not writing for Brew Your Own, I'm reading it.
John Palmer, Sean Paxton, Jamil Zainasheff. If you love listening to them on the Brewing Network, you'll love reading their articles, tips, and recipes in the pages of Brew Your Own magazine. Join Jamil, John, and Sean 8 times a year in Brew Your Own. And when you subscribe to BYO on the Brewing Network website, half of your subscription price goes right back to the BN to support great beer and food programming. So sign up for Brew Your Own magazine through the BN website today so you can listen and read your way to better homebrew.
Nico, listen, our lawyers said that we had to do this for 1 hour, and after this, we don't have to talk to each other for 3 more months until the next meeting.
Kids, come on, let's get out of here.
I'm supposed to have more lines. I'm the professional. Hey, it's Sully.
And I'm Nico.
And we opened the 21st Amendment 9 years ago at 563 2nd Street in San Francisco, just 2 blocks from Giants Park, to make great beer and have a great time doing it.
That's right, because to us, the 21st Amendment is more than just the right to make beer. It's the right to experiment, to be innovative, and just do things differently. And so now, we're putting our craft beer in cans.
That's right, cans. You can find our world-famous Hell or High Watermelon Wheat Beer and Brew Free or Die IPA throughout California and Alaska.
And now it's also available on draft at select accounts in the Bay Area.
So next time you're at your local neighborhood pub or good beer store, be sure to ask for 21st Amendment in cans.
Because everyone likes it in the can.
Tasty crack cans.
Tasty crack can.
A vial of White Labs yeast is the key to your best beer. When you open a vial of White Labs yeast, you're giving your beer its best chance for a perfect fermentation. In addition to their already incredible variety of yeasts, White Labs is proud to announce WLP 90, San Diego's super yeast, now available year-round. WLP 90 is super clean, super fast fermenting, with low esters and has a neutral flavor and aroma profile. It's alcohol tolerant and highly flocculent. For more of the latest White Labs news, click over to whitelabs.com, where you can read reviews of yeast, learn in the lab section, and join the customer club. And if you should find yourself in San Diego, White Labs has a brand new training facility for craft brewers and home brewers alike. Whitelabs.com. Discover yeast, nutrients, enzymes, and more for commercial breweries, home brewers, and homebrew stores. White Labs. It's all in the vial.
For nearly 15 years, homebrewers have been served by one place in Michigan where you can buy yourself a serial killer grain mill. Adventures in Homebrewing. Did you try all those great Michigan beers at the National Homebrewers Conference in San Diego or Seattle? Adventures in Homebrewing delivered. Did you see a great false bottom in your buddy's cooler or brew kettle? Adventures in Homebrewing delivered that. And did you see that great custom-built brew stand? Yep, Adventures in Homebrewing delivered. Since 1999, Adventures in Homebrewing in Taylor, Michigan, Ann Arbor, Michigan, and online at homebrewing.org has been serving homebrewers across the globe. Check out their innovative 2.5-gallon keg with metal handles, great homebrew kits, and the fully adjustable Serial Killer Grain Mill. Visit them in Philly for the 2013 National Homebrewers Conference. Not going to make it? Check out all the fun of Adventures in Homebrewing at homebrewing.org. For a limited time, coupon code BNetwork will slam 10% off your order. Bam! Adventures in Homebrewing. Join the adventure at the Great Lakes Home for homebrewing supplies. Online at homebrewing.org. And don't forget coupon code BNetwork for a limited time. Join the adventure today.
This is www.thebrewingnetwork.com.
Sit down next to it, grab yourself a paper towel, and watch those yeast have sex.
You're listening to the Brewing Network. The Session. Brewing up our next batch of Radio Gold. Right now.
Yeah, welcome back to The Session, and thanks for hanging out with us. Great game of Brews Line Is It Anyway there for a couple tickets to savor. We've got more tickets to give away just a little bit later on in the program. Write down this number now. You're going to need it, 888-401-BEER. That's how you're going to win 2 tickets to savor in New York City, courtesy of the Brewers Association. Good people over there who put on a good event. In the meantime, right now, we've got Don Russell, otherwise known as Joe Sixpack, here to talk to us about Philly Beer Week. Don, you with us?
I'm there. I'm here. Good evening, guys.
Hey, thanks so much for being with us. I'm sorry for the delay to get you on the air here.
No problem. It played well into the evening.
Good. Hopefully you had a beer in your hand to keep you company while we delayed.
I do. I'm drinking a Weyerbacher Last Chance IPA.
Oh, that a boy. We've got our Brewing Network 8th anniversary party is coming up in Philadelphia on June 26th, and Weyerbacher is one of the first breweries on my list to get into the party.
That's great. I mean, they're making some really terrific beers these days, and we had them as a big part of Philly Beer Week this year because we sent their brewer, Chris Wilson, over to Belgium to brew our Belgian collaboration beer this year with Delacenne.
Oh, very nice. We just had Delacenne beer down at the Firestone Walker Beer Fest. It's the first time I've had it. And actually, we were lucky enough to interview Yvonne from Delacenne, too. What an amazing beer he's making.
He is, and Yvonne's coming in later on this week with Philly Beer Week. I was one of the, I'm the guy that's in charge of like running Philly Beer Week, so that means I don't get to enjoy all the fun of actually going over to Belgium and brewing the beer. So this will be the first chance for me to meet him.
Oh, he's a good dude, very nice. You're going to love meeting him, but more importantly, he doesn't call it this. I was trying to figure out what style to put it into, and the closest I could come was Belgian Pale Ale. But he argued with me, and he's right. But I just didn't know how else to describe it. You're going to try that beer, and it's going to blow your mind. I'm going to tell you right now, Don.
Wouldn't expect anything less.
Wait, yeah,
very good.
They are doing some great stuff there. There's no doubt about it.
They truly are. So when exactly is Philly Beer Week?
We are knee-deep into Philly Beer Week. This is day 4, Monday, and we began with opening tap on Friday, and we've had a full weekend of events, and now we're really moving forward with a bunch of things. We'll do 1,100 events in over 10 days. So we've got a lot under our belt, but we've got a lot to go to.
That's an incredible amount of events. And I want to talk about the progression of not only Philly Beer Week, but Philly Beer Week in the U.S. But let me start with this. Out here, I'm in California, and we have San Francisco Beer Week. And the one thing I make fun of it for is that it's actually like San Francisco Beer 12 days, because 7 days apparently wasn't enough of a week for the craft beer thing. Is that how Philly Beer Week goes too? Did we lose him? Hang on, he's back. Don, you back? Great. What a good question I had, too.
That was a great question.
Thanks, guys.
I can answer it for you if you want.
He appears to be there. He's just not actually there. Oh, he's kind of there.
Sorry about that. Can you hear me?
Now I can hear you. Hey, Don.
I'm hoping to turn this up a little bit. I'm sorry. I'm in the city here, and it doesn't always work, I guess.
Gotcha. No problem. You just caught me. I was just asking you, our beer week here in San Francisco is about 14 days long, which I make fun of them for. How long is Philly Beer Week?
We got 10 days going here in Beer Week, and we take advantage of both weekends. So it's definitely a lot of events to run over the whole time. But we got some pretty good stamina here in Philly.
Okay, so Philly Beer Week, if I'm not mistaken, was really the first beer week. Is that right?
Well, we're the first citywide beer week. There's a couple others that make some claims to it, and I give them a lot of credit for great ideas. But Philly Beer Week was sort of grew out of a need and in Philly to sort of celebrate our beer scene here, and we really didn't know what to expect when we started in 2008 because we had a lot of good beer restaurants and, a number of them, who could put together events. And we figured the first year we'd do maybe 75 events over a week's length of time. And instead we nailed 350 events the very first year. And at that point, as soon as that happened, we knew we had something really good going on here.
Was that because the proprietors of the breweries and the beer bars there just really wanted to get involved? Is that why you ended up with so many?
It's true. I mean, it is. I will say I give a lot of credit to the bar owners here in Philly. I mean, we've got a lot of good breweries here. The West Coast, tons more breweries, but here in Philly, it's the bar owners that seem to be driving it. They reach out and they try to attract these high-end beers like we were talking about with the Belgian breweries from here in Philly, but also from the West Coast and all over the country. So we're really wide open to a lot of beer around the country, and we have very knowledgeable bar owners and managers who look to bring in unusual beers and also create events around those beers. So I give them a lot of credit.
I think that's a theme that a lot of other cities have taken to heart with when they do the beer week. I find it interesting, that one of the most fascinating and fun parts about beer weeks are bringing in people from other parts of the country. It's locally you can celebrate your beer all the time, and I know the beer week is also to celebrate local beer, but just like you've mentioned, other brewers want to get involved and they find it a reason to travel out.
And I think, you put your finger right on it. People love to come and travel and discover a city through the beer culture. And so we have no real problem attracting out-of-town brewers to come here and discover our beer scene, just as I love traveling out of town and discovering beer scenes all around the world, really.
Sure. Absolutely. Now, you said you ended up with 350 events that first year. You thought you might have 75. How many do you think you have this year?
We'll have about 1,100 events this year. They range all over the place from, just the smallest tap takeovers to large-scale festivals. One of the trends I've noticed recently is sort of block parties that surround maybe 2 or 3 bars that sort of get together and bring in some special beers and brewers, and which is to me a really nice trend because it shows the collaborative spirit we have here in Philly, where competitors will come together to create something larger than their own parts.
Right. Listeners, you can go to phillybeerweek.org if you want to look into these events that we're talking about. There's a list there. Of course, people in Philly, you're going to want to check it out, phillybeerweek.org. And on that note, with that many events, Don, I have to ask you this. So you're also a columnist, and you write Joe Sixpack.
Right. I've been writing the Joe Sixpack column for 16 years now.
And by the way, I've been reading that since the beginning of the Brewing Network. It was one of my early resources for beer outside of California. So I think you do a nice job, and you really come from the craft beer perspective and not just the kind of, if I may say, shitty journalist perspective. So you've been doing a good job.
Us shitty journalists do know good beer. And we've discovered a lot over the years. And I consider myself a tabloid journalist. I've been writing for a daily newspaper for many years, and I think that's my take on it, is to sort of discover how craft beer can relate to a much wider community than simply just whatever beer nerds or whatever. I mean, I'm a beer nerd, believe me, but I like to spread that out to people who who may just be out there. They might be Eagles fans looking for a good beer down at the stadium, for instance. So that's my take on good beer.
And that's what I think that you do well, because a lot of times I think some of the larger newspapers around the country now will assign a mainstream journalist to cover craft beer, and they don't have enough knowledge to cover it correctly. And I think you've been doing that for years. So I just wanted to give you props for that.
I appreciate that.
But what I wanted to ask you about, the reason I bring it up is because one of the hard parts about a beer week with that many events is that you are supposed to spend every night out at another one of these beer events for 11 days. And how do you do it? What is your secret to survive the week?
Restoration.
It's insane. I have a loving wife. Let's put it that way.
That's the secret.
But tonight we're speaking from 2nd Street off the South Street area of Philadelphia, a very popular night area, and we created this year an outdoor beer garden at our historic Head House Square. We're talking about a 250-year-old facility, open-air market facility that we ran a beer garden, and it was new this year. And when you run Beer Week, you do not only are you doing the fun stuff, but I began my day by driving a 26-foot long refrigerated truck over here to the site, and which was a real thrill.
Nice.
And so you do a lot of hands-on stuff when you're running a beer week, because we have a lot of volunteers and we have a great board of directors here, but to get things done, you got to get out there and drive the reefer.
Yeah, so that seems like a difficult part for me. The organizing part, you would think it's just, well, listen, everybody who owns a bar or a brewery, we're doing a Philly Beer Week, so let us know your event and we'll publish it. But what you're saying is it's really much more than that to organize it.
Well, it is. There's a lot. We have a really good advanced beer culture here in the city, in Philly, where people can sort of do things on their own. But what I love doing is bringing in new people who may not really get what Philly Beer Week is all about, or may not really get what craft beer is about. And I love creating events with them. I'll give you one really good example here in the city, and that's the Four Seasons Hotel. This is a big luxury chain of hotels across the country.
Yeah.
And we brought them in a few years ago. They were, this is a wine place. They have a sommelier there. They're really high-end Tony kind of place. And we showed them how many of their customers are going to be looking for better beers, not just better wines. And we helped create with them a beer garden there. And then we also connected them with a local brewery that is now collaborating every 4 months, I think it is, a new beer with their restaurant staff.
Wow, great.
And I'm so excited about that. It brings beer to a whole new culture, or a whole new level of people that may not have ever experienced good beer.
That is so awesome. I love to hear stuff like that.
That is good, especially in a beer or a wine-centric town.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Well, wine people sort of get beer off, and once you get them off of it, people who like the taste and flavor of wine, they actually understand the flavor and taste of beer. They do get it. There's certainly, there's the white Zinfandel people who may never ever get it, but
Right.
people who like a full flavored drink do actually get beer.
Well, Don, if we start putting craft beer in boxes that have a little spout, we could maybe get the white. We could get the white Zin crowd too. Don't cross them off the list
I'm
yet.
there.
I think we could do it. Is there a cap to how many events Philly Beer Week can have? 1,100 is insane. Are you going to have to cap at some point?
Well, it's a good question because many people think we might be reaching that, but I honestly think that we can go bigger. And the reason is that even with 1,100 events and, basically at 250 or so area bars, Philly is a region. The region itself has about 6 million people, and there's a lot more bars and restaurants out there who actually do come to us every year, and we keep adding on to them. And I think we can keep spreading this whole celebration to a wider area. So I really do believe there's room for more events. I will say, and this is a thing that a lot of people don't get with Beer Weeks, is we're trying to reach beyond the hardcore beer craft beer lover. I love those people. They are the biggest supporters of Beer Week, but I want to bring more people in who may not really be aware of the great flavors of beer, and I think that's the way to do it, is to grow these kinds of events.
I'll tell you that's an excellent point that you're bringing up, that those of us who are in the community, and I mean even right here at the Brewing Network, we can lose sight of that actually, because we're kind of surrounded by beer nerds like the rest of us, right? Yeah. And we're talking, they want to go to this event and that event, and I'm thinking, gosh, it's just so many. But it's an excellent point that really the reason is to show off to those who don't know about it yet.
Exactly. The more we bring in, the bigger the scene. I go back to the beginnings of Joe's Six Pack 16 years ago.
Yeah.
I was very selfish when I started it. My whole idea was, if I keep writing about this, more bars and restaurants are going to serve better beer, and I personally will be able to find more beer when I go out and not have to deal with Bud Miller, Coors or whatever, and I'll be able to find better beer. And I think the more people we bring into the tent, the better the beer scene will be overall.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. We're talking to Don Russell. He's the co-founder of Philly Beer Week. He's also been writing for the Philadelphia Daily News for 17 years, and he writes the Joe Six Pack column. What's your favorite type of beer event? Do you have one?
Yes, I do. It's a beer event that is not necessarily focused on the beer. It's an event that happens to have really good beer with it. So we do this crazy event at one of the local bars, the Kite and Key in the city, where they do an afternoon. It's called the Throwdown in Franklintown, and it's one of these things where people are, they're doing, they dress up in those blow up sumo outfits.
Oh yeah,
and they wrestle each other.
That's awesome.
And it's funny. It involves a lot of beer people, and by the way, there's like some killer beer. There was I think 8 different taps from Allagash at that particular event. I mean, it was just a wonderful amount of fun.
I think I agree with Don on this one, JP.
Yeah.
You and I look at this when we're talking about beer events, especially when we do our own, and we're going, what else can we do though? And something, the sumo outfit's perfect. It's a perfect reason to get it. It's not right. It's why I like it. It's not beer pong.
Right.
Okay, we're not looking for some stupid drinking game. We got great craft beer. And let's put on some sumo outfits and act like dummies for a second.
Right. Well, because you have to go meta on the whole thing. Like a beer fest is still just a beer fest at its core, and a tap takeover is still just a tap takeover. What else is engaged? There's so much good beer around. You almost have to engage on some other level other than just your taste, right?
Exactly.
Light something on fire.
I agree. I mean, last night we did an event. I didn't get to go to it, unfortunately. Founders Brewing was in town, and they had their own band, and it was about the music that they were producing. But yeah, by the way, we had I think 12 taps of Founders pouring that night. So I honestly, personally, I wish there was much more music-oriented events. I'm a big music fan, and I think that's an area for anybody that wants to do beer weeks is to start looking at live music and beer.
I love it. Tasty.
Our entertainment, like Lagunitas Circus out here,
yep,
is like an event within the event.
Exactly.
And anything that has food, like the Firestone Walker event we were at, that's a nice event because it has food as well. It's got a second thing going.
Tasty, would you put on a sumo suit at our next event?
Would he need
Tomorrow,
you took my line.
Tomorrow I'm getting dunked in a dunk tank, so
nice.
That shows.
That's great.
It's always too cold when we do our event for a dunk tank, but dunk tank goes over really well.
Yeah.
I bet it's going to be hot and sticky in Philly, though. Dunk tank.
Yeah.
Even before we get there.
Philly right there.
Now, what about different styles of beer, Don? In your coverage, not only in your column for the last 16 years, but also of Philly Beer Week, have you noticed an increase in beer styles, or are we just kind of regurgitating the same ones?
Well, one of the things I boast about this all the time about Philly, but I do think we have a more diverse variety of styles than you'll see in other parts of the country because we have a very solid lager culture here, and that adds to the whole mix. I'm a hophead. I love IPAs and the double IPAs and stuff. And I see people sort of getting stuck on hops a lot, and I'm cool with that. That's what you like. But the sour beers are certainly great. But lately, here in Philly, we've been really pushing a lot on the Pilsners and some of the Bock beers and so on. So I really like to be able to go into a bar and see a wide variety of flavors, and that means a wide variety of styles. Sure,
absolutely. All right, now we're running out of time, but I have a very important question for you. And that is I know you got Philly Beer Week going on right now, and your head is full of that. But the National Homebrewers Conference is coming up, and it starts on June 27th. Our Brewing Network 8th anniversary party is going to be hosted at the World Cafe Live right there in downtown Philly on Wednesday, June 26th. So first of all, I would like to invite you to come out to our party. If you have time, I'll put you on the list, and we'd love to have you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm not sure it's a matter of time. I think it's a matter of amount of kidneys left at this point.
That's what I was going to say to you, too. I mean, I'll tell you what. I will rent a gurney, and you can hang out at the party on the gurney all night.
That's really good.
A quick transfusion.
I think that actually might be a
back.
side business for you guys.
Right.
There's some opportunity there.
There is. But my real question for you is, of all the homebrewers that are going to come to town, and there's a couple of 2,000-3,000 of them, can you give us a short list of places that we can't miss? And we're a little bit chained to the conference hotel because there's a lot of events going on. There's always a little time for dinner. There's always a little time the day before and the day after. What can we not miss in Philadelphia?
Well, that's a great question, and I get it an awful lot because a lot of people come to the city and want that information. Monk's Cafe obviously is the big one. I mean, that's and this is within walking distance of where you are. It's the top Belgian bar in the city and one of the best Belgian bars in the whole world, I think, with Tom Peters at the helm there. You'll just find some outstanding beers there. I think that for a full flavor of Philly, though, you got to find your way to McGillen's Old Ale House. It's the city's oldest bar, dating to 1860. It's up this tiny little alleyway called Drury Street, and you will find a great collection of Pennsylvania beers. He's totally into that whole scene.
Perfect.
And it'll give you a sort of a feel for the old Philly. The Mullins family who runs that they're just great supporters of the Philly beer scene. So those are two right within walking distance of you that I would absolutely recommend.
Okay, awesome. Perfect. And if I can ask, I mean, since you're a music fan, we've not been to the World Cafe Live, but the people we're working with over at Northern Brewer and Midwest Brewing Supplies, their headquarters is located there in Philadelphia, and they say it's just a world-class music venue. Have you been there?
Yes, absolutely. As a matter of fact, the founders event that I mentioned a few minutes ago, it was held there, and I've been to a number of events there. They do a great job, and they're big supporters of Philly Beer Week too. You'll find good beer on tap there. Great spot. That's over in the near the University of Pennsylvania campus.
Oh, good.
And a lot of good stuff there. And let me give another quick tip over in that direction. City Tap House with I think it's the largest number of taps in the city. I run maybe 48 taps or so, but they have a wonderful beer program there. So after your event, wander over to City Tap House.
Awesome.
I got a fast question.
Okay.
If you don't mind. Cheesesteaks. Come on. Geno's, Nick's, or Jim's?
Aha.
Jim's has been thrown into the hat into the ring a little bit. So which is the best?
All right.
Well, everybody's got their favorite. I always tell out-of-towners, definitely go to Geno's and Pat's because it's a scene, and you saw it in Rocky and all that kind of stuff. But personally, they're not my favorites. My favorite happens to be up in my own neck of the woods, up in Roxborough, called Tony A's, or it's rather now called Tony Roney's. But that's a neighborhood spot, and that's the great thing about cheesesteaks is you end up finding these spots all over the city. So, but do go down to South Philly and check out Pat's and Geno's. It's a great scene.
Pat's, not Nick's. All right.
So those are easy. How do you not want to go to a place called Tony Roney's?
Tony Roney! Hey, Tony Roney!
They're going to love me. I think I just got cheesesteaks for life there now.
Yeah.
We got a whiz wit.
My mom makes some amazing cheesesteak sandwiches.
Is your mom
We're from Pennsylvania, fool.
I forget that. And she can still make some good cheesesteaks.
Oh yeah,
huh?
it's
that a girl.
Is your mom's name Tony?
My mom's name is Marion.
Roney. Bevo sounded really sultry talking about cheesesteak right there.
She loves her some cheesesteaks.
I love me some cheesesteak.
Make some good cheesesteaks.
All right, we are speaking to Don Russell. He's the co-founder of Philly Beer Week. You're going to want to go to phillybeerweek.org to get more information. He's also the author of the column Joe Sixpack in the Philadelphia Daily News. He's been doing it for a long time. I have a lot of respect for his column. Where can we find that online, Don?
That's at my website, joesixpack.net, and of course Philly.com. But and I also have a weekly newsletter that I send out, just keeping up people with the whole beer scene in Philly and beyond.
Okay, go check them out. And despite the condition of your liver and possibly other organs, I'm still going to send you your official invite. I'd love to see you out at BNA 8, Don.
Thanks, I appreciate it. Hope we can hook up.
All right, brother. Thanks for doing the program. I appreciate it. Go have some fun for us.
All right, will do.
Cheers.
Bye.
There you go. Joe Sixpack.
Sounds awesome, man. That's a giant event. Giant.
1,100.
Wow.
South Philly sounds a little scary.
Yeah, you don't want to go to Tony Roney's for that?
Basically, the south of any town. South Boston, South Oakland,
South Central LA.
South of Market.
You don't want to do that.
South Central. Oh, boy. Yeah. Now, that said, we've been hearing about Philly Beer Week for years now, and we've done some interviews. I'm trying to remember the brewery who came on the program, and they're the ones who have like goat races out there during Philly Beer Week.
Oh, yeah.
And I got to say, as much as JP and I make fun of beer weeks, the Philly one is the one I want to go to. And I was really hoping that it would butt up against NHC this year, because I might have gone for the whole week before.
Right.
Even though I would have moved above Tasty on the death list had I done
Your mortality would be in question.
I would have actually gone with you.
It does. It's a town I've wanted to go to my whole life, so I'm looking forward to getting there. But Philly Beer Week has always just made it a little more enticing. I've wanted to go check that out.
Was that Sly Fox Brewing?
I think it was Sly Fox. Yeah. And I since that show, Doc and I both are like, dude, we got to go to the goat races.
Goat races.
Well, maybe next year. There's always next year.
Can we bring our own goat?
I believe you asked him that then, and he didn't care. He's like, hey, if you can get your goat here.
I think we should start the being goat races at Doc's place.
Yeah, that's what we should.
Oh, I got some fast goats, man.
See? He's been raising race goats for years.
Oh.
They've just been dormant.
Maybe we could get some money in on this.
I think we should do this.
Take over that.
Oh, Winterfest. Goat racing.
Goat racing in Concord.
I think it could work.
They're worried about us walking on the grass. And never mind, we make a goat racetrack.
Yeah, or
We're
chickens.
Like, it'll be fine.
I got chickens. Doc has chickens. Chicken races.
Ooh.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Show chickens.
Monk's is on my short list.
It's a great place.
We won't leave. You've been.
I've been there once. Yeah.
Okay. I won't leave Philadelphia without going.
It's going to be packed.
Yeah,
I know.
Madhouse.
So we got to go Tuesday night.
I'm in Monday night. So.
Well, you're better than us.
If I go, I might try to get some rest on Tuesday night.
Just get rest Monday night.
Why would you try to get rest when all of us fly in?
Because all of you are flying in.
Yeah,
exactly.
You answered your own question.
And I have to deal with you and your tardiness and your bullshit for the rest of the week.
Notice how he's talking to
I'm
you,
not going to
Bevo.
be tardy. You know what? I'm never tardy unless Sam is directly causing it.
So you're tardy all the time.
Yes.
Bevo,
Right. It's always, yeah.
Do you feel tardy?
Sam, I have to be at the booth. Watch the baby. That's the sound he makes because he was out with one of you 5 the night before until 2:30 in the morning.
And it is a catch-22 because I'm the guy who's like,
And
no,
then you're
Sam,
calling
we're
me,
staying out.
and you're the one calling me the next morning, yelling at me for not being there when I have nobody to watch my kid.
Not my fucking problem.
Yeah.
All right?
It is your problem. You caused it.
Well, not the kid.
I didn't cause it.
No.
Unluckily, I did not cause that problem.
I think Tuesday night will be the best for me to go to Monk's, and then Wednesday I'm going to the Muter Museum. Woo!
I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
I'm super excited to go to that.
Does it serve beer?
No, it doesn't serve beer.
I'm out.
It's unbeer related at all. It's the Medical Anomaly Museum of the Philadelphia College of
yeah,
Physicians.
you mentioned that. You know why? It's not that I don't want to go do non-beery things. It's that will gross me the
I
F
know.
out.
Dude, they have a rad collection of baby fetuses. And,
I don't want to see that.
I want
skulls.
to touch and smell everything.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
They have a soap. They have a soap woman.
I'll take that.
That's so nice.
It was the soap?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Her corpse. It's a rad. Muter Museum is awesome.
What makes a baby fetus collection rad?
I think
Because
it's like
nobody else has
like
one.
two-headed or like all deformities. It's just medical anomalies.
Yeah.
They have a whole chest of things that were extracted from someone's stomach with a little grabber.
Is that the thing where they have like the human head completely cut in half? And
They do have that, yeah. Like the brain all sliced up. It's sick.
Sounds delightful.
Oh, come on. You guys have touched
It's fun, man. It's a rad place.
Come on. And it smells like formaldehyde?
Exactly. So it smells like Denny's food.
Yeah. So they open at 10 in the
even
morning
worse.
that Wednesday. So if you guys want to go, meet me there at 10 in the morning.
Smells like moons over my hammy.
It smells like a first-year med student.
Moons over my jammy. 'Cause it's all gushy.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. Thanks to Don Russell and Philly Beer Week. Go to phillybeerweek.org and check it out. When we come back, we're giving away 2 more tickets to Savor in New York City. It's a fun show. Plus, we've got the end of our Dortmunder lagering experience between Tasty and Doc. We're going to taste both of those beers. When we come back, right here on The Session.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. On the Brewing Network.
Hi, I'm Jason Harris, the proud owner here at Keystone Homebrew Supply. We're thrilled to be entering our 20th year of supplying this great industry, and to show you, the Brewing Network Army, how much we appreciate your support, we're offering you 10% off your first order on our website, KeystoneHomebrew.com. Just use coupon code BNARMY at checkout, and I'll get your order out the same day. My goal at Keystone Homebrew Supply has always been to have a complete supply of everything a brewer could want. When you place your order online or when you come into our store, it's our goal to have everything on your list and more. One aspect of KeystoneHomebrew.com that we're really excited about is the ability to fulfill customers' exact grain bills. Do you hate to wait? Keystone Homebrew Supply can get your precious yeast and hops to you within just 1 day if you live between Connecticut and Virginia, and within 2 days east of the Mississippi. KeystoneHomebrew.com. Coupon code BNARMY. I'm Jason Harris, and I approve this message.
Hey, dude, you know what beer this is?
No, all the labels are falling off.
Yeah, or the ink is run.
Well, if it's a pale ale, you're good, but stay away from the quote-unquote Belgian.
Oh, man, this guy needs to get some grog tags.
Grog tags are reusable, write-on, wipe-off, commercial-grade bottle labels for your brew. The guys at Grog Tag are homebrewers. They wanted great-looking, sturdy labels for your bottles, buckets, carboys, kegs, and growlers. They also wanted a label that not only looks good, but can be easily removed and reapplied during bottling with without that nasty glue residue being left behind. No residue, water resistant, and ice chest approved. Grog tags stay on in water or an ice chest, and they stay legible. Visit grogtag.com to customize your label or coaster from dozens of different templates for free and see how awesome your bottles can look.
It's that pseudo-Belgian.
Yeah, we're getting him some grog tags, dude.
Grog Tag. At least your beer will look good. grogtag.com. Williams Brewing is your online resource for prompt delivery of quality home brewing supplies. Since 1979, Williams Brewing has offered the finest equipment and freshest ingredients, and the best customer service in the business. Cut hours off your brewing sessions by using one of their 11 varieties of famous Williams malt extract. Their new Snap-Lock stainless steel cam-lock fittings will make connecting your pump or heat exchanger quick and easy. Or check out their exclusive paintball tank-based draft beer equipment. They even have their own line of precision hydrometers. Go to williamsbrewing.com to browse their vast selection. That's williamsbrewing.com. Orders placed by 4 p.m. Pacific Time weekdays ship the same day. Brewing is easy. The Williams way.
Tin, Getting tired of that same old handcrafted beverages day after day? Are you looking for something with more diversity than your normal beer? Fellow BN Army member Michael Fairbrother, owner of Moonlight Meadery, is reviving an entire beverage category. Mead!
The meads at Moonlight Meadery are all handcrafted from the finest honey on the market and are perfect for any occasion, like weddings, baby showers, or...
Excuse me? Mead is not your average girly drink, mister, and Moonlight Meads can be enjoyed anytime, anywhere. Football games with the guys.
Yeah.
Barbecues with the guys.
Yeah.
Operating power tools with the guys.
Yeah. Actually, sir, that's really dangerous.
Good point, son.
Next time you have something to celebrate or are just looking for a new tasting experience, pick up a bottle of mead from Moonlight Meadery. Now in 21 states, making over 60 varieties of mead from dry, semi-sweet to sweet.
Break out of that craft beer lull. Grab a bottle of Moonlight Mead. Can't find some? Then ask. No, make that demand some.
Yeah!
Hey, my brewing brothers and sisters. This is Jamel Zanishev, and I want to tell you about my favorite Heretic beer, Shallow Grave Porter. I love the rich, malty character of this beer. While full and rich, Shallow Grave has an easy drinking finish that isn't too sweet. I've always loved my homebrew porter recipe, so when it's time to brew Heretic Shallow Grave, I started with that in mind. But I tweaked it with all my latest recipe ideas. Just like in homebrewing, I made sure we used only the finest malts that would produce the ideal flavor for this beer. We used select British malts to get the rich chocolate and caramel flavors, and we spared no expense. The result is a beer as dark as a moonless night, with hints of vanilla, coffee, and chocolate, perfect for a cool evening out in the woods. Cheers.
What'd you get? More brewing ingredients?
Yep. You know what I love about Brewmaster's Warehouse?
The $6.99 shipping?
Well, yeah, but...
Oh, the in-store classes for beginning brewers.
Yeah, that's cool, but...
Oh, the Brew Builder. Creating and saving your recipes online is awesome!
No, I mean, yes, but...
The cheese-making supplies.
No.
Oh, the wine-making supplies. Oh, the distilling equipment and liquor flavorings.
All that stuff is awesome, yes, but what I really love is that the guy who runs it is totally hot. And that Brew Builder software is awesome.
Oh, yeah. Brewmaster's Warehouse brings you flat rate shipping on great equipment and ingredients to make beer, wine, cheese, and spirits at brewmasterswarehouse.com. And if you're in Georgia, stop by Brewmaster's Warehouse Monday through Saturday from 10 to 6. Visit brewmasterswarehouse.com today because it's totally hot.
Oh, yeah.
What's funny is brewers will say, yeah, I don't brew to style. I'm brewing my own beer. And it's like a German Pilsner, but it's black. Yeah, it's a sports beer. You know?
The home of live beer radio.
TheBrewingNetwork.com.
Because like beer,
radio shouldn't suck. You're listening to The Session. tuned into The Session.
Because life's too short to listen to crappy radio.
Yes, sir. We got some more to get to. We got tickets to give away to Savor in New York City. We got some Dortmunder tasting to get through. We got some beer news for you tonight. We got some fun stuff going on. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks to our guest, Don Russell, over at Philly Beer Week, also known as Joe Sixpack. You know, if you're looking to do creepy stuff in the bedroom, check out adamandeve.com. You can go to adamandeve.com right now, and if you use coupon code BNARMY, BNARMY, you get 50% off just about any one item. You get free shipping. You get 3 free adult DVDs from genres such as
Asian Delivery Boy.
I don't think that's one, but there is Asian.
There is. Oh, that's what it was. It was Asian.
It was just Asian.
I was just hoping they would have that subgenre.
You were dreaming about the rest.
That's right.
There's also genres such as
Group Sex.
There's Group. That's a fun one for everybody, if so to speak. Moscow?
Large breasts.
There's large breasts. I love genres. They're so, you know what they are? They bring us down to our base. They're really just the simple. It's like, you know what? Fuck it. It's a bunch of people screwing. And there's several several videos that have that.
At some point, we're just going to be walking out of not out of the DVD store because you're ordering online, but then you'll drag your package in like by the hair, like you just like knuckle dragging it. You know, because it's like Neanderthal. When you order your DVDs, right?
Yeah.
You're dragging them home like caveman style because it is very primal, like very like...
Yeah, I see. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Now I get it. Yes, you're agreeing, and I agree with you.
Well, I'm a really good broadcaster. I don't know if you knew that or not.
You're like, and you drag your knuckles. What? Yes, I agree with it. Anyway, lots of different genres. You get 3 free adult DVDs, plus free shipping, plus a free gift so sensual. We can't mention it on internet radio, and I think the people who do this on radio can't mention it.
We don't even mention it when we're off the radio.
Do they write it in magazines that way too? We can't write about it in this magazine.
Yes, I've heard them elsewhere, and it's always no one can ever mention it.
You know, Beaver went to the Adam and Eve in where were you? North Dakota or something?
North Carolina. Wilmington.
Because it's probably illegal in North Dakota to have an Adam and Eve, right? They're still aren't they still on horse and carriage there?
I think it's North Carolina.
That's a genre.
Horse and carriage. Amish.
You imagine?
Oh gosh.
I'm here to plow your field.
I believe that would just be fetish or fantasy or something, right?
Yeah.
It's illegal in North Dakota, but it's encouraged in South Dakota. Everything sucks in the South, or it's great.
I'm here to carve your stool.
I'm here to milk your udder.
You have exquisite memories.
What a great genre.
Could you take the beard off?
Did you go into the store, Bevo?
No, I didn't.
Why not?
I had a sleeping toddler in the car.
She's asleep!
And Sam.
Wait, isn't it the same thing?
So you imagine going into a shop with Sam. See, this is the beauty of Adam and Eve. You do it all online. You imagine going into a shop with Sam. Oh! Look at that one. It's black.
Hey, it's waving around. How do I stop it?
Oh, it hit me in the face.
Oh, hey, Bev. Let's buy this. Bev.
Would this fit?
Yeah.
And the other people are like, excuse me, ma'am, you cannot have a baby in here.
Unless it's a featured dancer, it has to get out.
Unless that baby is in the midget porn section, it must leave now.
Oh, are you here to sign the DVDs for the lady? That's very articulate. You must be from the South, too.
AdamandEve.com. Use coupon code BNARMY. Get a bunch of cool stuff. All right.
Good commercial.
Here's what we're going to do.
Commercial for the South.
I got 2 tickets to give away, courtesy of the Brewers Association, and it's for Savor. Savor's happening June 14th and 15th in New York City. That's New York, and what a great place. I'm going to be there after NHC. I'm looking forward to it. I have been wanting to go to Savor for years. It never fits into the schedule because it's so close to NHC. But if you're on the East Coast, here's what we're going to do. Caller number 12, 888-401-BEER, 888-401-2337, 888-401-BEER. Call right now. Caller number 12, you're going to win 2 tickets to Savor in New York City. We're making it easy on you. All you got to do is call in and be caller number 12. 888-401-BEER. Do it now. Couple of announcements for you. Couple of 2 tree announcements. Like I was talking about with Don Russell there, we got the Brewing Network anniversary party coming up. And I'm really looking forward to it. It's coming together now really well. Just a lot of good stuff happening. The bands are going to be fantastic. We got the Trophy Fire playing. We've got the School of Rock playing, which are the very talented kids. The movie School of Rock with Jack Black. It's a true story. It's based on this school. The school is based in Philadelphia, and we're going to get the most talented kids to come and perform for us. They're going to play you a bunch of classic rock. I mean, that alone is going to be very cool. Plus, we're working on 30-plus breweries. Over the weekend at the Firestone Walker Brew Festival, I was able to confirm a few West Coast breweries that we're bringing out there.
What are they?
Well, I know the 21st Amendment is going to send Hop Crisis, which will be released then, but they're also going to send something, a unique beer, directly and only available from the pub here in San Francisco.
Oh.
So we're also going to get a special beer out of them. I'm working with the Lagunitas guys. I'm talking with the Ballast Point guys. I mean, I am working hard to get you about 10 different breweries from the West Coast, which we like to do at all of our anniversary parties because we know that you hear about them on the show all the time and you don't get to try them. So if you're going to be at the party, this is your chance. You can get tickets over at thebrewingnetworkphilly.eventbrite.com. thebrewingnetworkphilly.eventbrite.com. It's also, there's a link right there on our homepage on the On Tap section. You'll see the BNA 8 logo, and you can click that. Tickets left, they're only $45, and with that, you're not only going to get beer from over 30 breweries, but you're also going to get food. We got a whole bunch of it's not a full-on dinner. The VIP tickets are sold out, but there is going to be like small plate hors d'oeuvres. We're going to be doing that. Plus music, plus giveaways, lots of swag, a great time hanging out with us, free shuttle service from the conference hotel. I mean, you name it, it's going to run all night long. It's going to be a great time. I know they got some other giveaways going on that are actually going to be kind of a big deal, some non-brewery stuff. I heard rumors about a flat-screen television being given out at this thing.
I was told it was a tube TV.
No, a big old...
I thought it was flat-chested hookers.
That's the after party.
Those are guys. Those are called guys.
And they're called dudes.
Yeah.
Lots of stuff, and we'd love to meet you out there. So go over to the Brewing Network, Philly.eventbrite.com if you're in the Philly area, or if you're going to NHC and you haven't decided what you're going to do yet, come hang out with us. A call to action for the Brewing Network Club. We do now have a person has stood up and said, damn it.
Yes.
The Brewing Network needs a booth at Club Night during NHC.
Our club.
And I will make it happen. So, the Brewing Network Club booth is happening. If you are in the region, if you're driving in, if you're even close, but you're driving to NHC and you would like to pour for your club at the Brewing Network, we now have a booth that's being organized. And I'm sure that
Patrick Ryan.
Pat could use some help if there's anybody who's also willing to reach out. For right now, what I'm going to do is have you email Scott at thebrewingnetwork.com, Scott at thebrewingnetwork.com, and he can put you all in touch with Patrick. There's a thread in the forum that you can take a look at and see who's participating and offer your support. But we're looking for beer, for one, because the Club of the Year should be represented.
Hell yeah.
At the National Homebrewers Conference. And we'd like to see you there. As a bonus, our club booth is right there in the center of the floor next to the Brewing Network itself. So we're all in one little area, and we're having ourselves a good time, and we'd like to get you involved.
I don't understand. We're in the center of the room?
Center of the room.
The center of a different room?
We're in the center of this for the first time. We're in this. The NHC treats us quite well when it comes to club night.
Oh,
but that's because we're attached to More Beer, and More Beer loves us, and whatever More Beer wants, More Beer gets, and More Beer always asks that we stay with them.
Now it makes the room was spinning. I didn't understand.
Yeah,
it's magical.
So I get to be the center of attention again, and that's nice. Yeah,
always is.
So. Scott at thebrewingnetwork.com if you'd like to get involved with Club Night. If you're in the area and you'd like to pour your beer, if your club is the Brewing Network, we'd love for you to do so. Dr. Homebrew is now on iTunes. It's JP's new show.
Yeah.
And, I've gotten a lot of really great feedback about it since we put it up about a week ago. It's been up now. People have been saying nice things. Love the format. And check it out if you don't know about it. There's an episode up there now, Dr. Homebrew. And you just got to search Dr. Homebrew. You could also search the Brewing Network. I could make it real easy on you, though. It's just thebrewingnetwork.com/drhomebrew.xml. If you do that, you can punch it right into the subscribe field in your iTunes or whatever RSS thing you use for your podcast. thebrewingnetwork.com/drhomebrew.xml. It'll bring you right to the show. You can subscribe, and new shows will now be appearing twice a month in perpetuity.
That's right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for doing that. It makes me happy.
I will get it on the website as soon as humanly possible. I am in the process of yelling at the person I hired to rearrange the back end of our website so that we can create new pages in order to put up new content like this. But our old web designer had left some time ago, and it was out of date, and there's a whole slew of things going on. But rest assured, I'm working on it. I'm yelling at people, and it seems to be working great.
I know an 8-year-old boy in the Ukraine that'll get right on that for you.
I mean, I should have hired the kid from Pakistan. He did a great job on some other stuff for me, but I thought the job was I thought the job was too big, so I hired the American. And you know what you get when you hire an American?
Good quality work at a decent price on time.
Lazy fucking douchebag for twice the price.
Shit.
That's what
and lots of excuses.
You know, I'll be the first to admit I tend to embellish my stories a little bit.
This one's for real.
This one, I'm not embellishing. In fact, I might be under-bellishing. Is that a word?
Unbellish.
At least twice as much, and it's a fucking American.
Well, in Pakistan, you build your own house. You just pour water on the ground and make the bricks, and there you go.
Well, I'll give you an example. I had the Pakistani dudes redo our blogs.
Yeah.
Finished them in just a couple of weeks, but they couldn't be installed on the site because the American who I hired to upgrade the back end of the site, which was needed for the new blog software, whatever the hell it is, hadn't finished. And he still hasn't finished. And it's been a long ass time, and I should have just gone and, hey, Pakistani dude, that's his name.
Rajesh.
Now that you're done with the blogs, can you finish the rest? And he'd have been like, yes.
Oh, sure. I can do that all day long.
I would have to fill you out at 1 hour, though.
Yeah, exactly. You'd have been like, I will be done in 1 hour.
As a matter of fact, it's done right now.
It will be $13.99.
Well, wait a minute. Does he know you have a Jewish producer? He
doesn't know.
Oh, well, there you go. Don't tell him.
It's best that way.
I'll tell you. I don't know why. Maybe it's the racist in me that I went for the American. I thought it was a big job, and it seemed like you sometimes you get what you pay for.
So you went union.
I have learned over the years of the BN that you do get what you pay for. Yes. I mean, we've gotten a lot of what we've paid for.
Why are you looking at me?
No, I don't mean that. But I just thought in this case, maybe
I would have done the same thing because it's a buy local. You want to support the local people, but
fail.
Sort of like the sandwich shops around.
Fail.
Here.
Yeah,
I'm ready to support Pakistan all the time.
I don't know. I'll send you some news articles about them.
Great. I won't read them. Anyhow,
they don't eat cows.
Where was I? Hop Grenade Warheads. Those are our new double-walled stainless steel growlers.
Best thing ever,
dude. We moved a bunch at the Firestone Fest, and it's because they're badass. You put this thing in your hand, and you go, done deal. This is the best thing that's happened to my homebrew since more beer.
I've taken it everywhere, and everybody's, what the hell is that?
They're great.
It's a warhead.
So check them out. They're in the store now, and we'd like for you to own one because they're sweet. Shop on Amazon by clicking the Amazon link on our homepage. It gives us a little cut, and you just do all your shopping as normal. A bunch of you have been doing it, and we very much appreciate it. Keep it up. It's a free way, essentially, for you to support the Brewing Network. So if you're not a subscriber and you don't have too much for merch, but maybe you're buying that gift for your girlfriend or something, just click the Amazon link on our homepage, and that's a way to support us, and we appreciate it very much. You can listen on the go with iPhone and Android apps. Just search BN Mobile in the iTunes Store or the Android Marketplace. Watch this live on justin.tv/Brewing Network. Subscribe and join the BN Army. You're entered to win the More Beer donation giveaway every month, which is a chance to win $100 to More Beer. We do the drawing every month. We send an email to the winner. They go happily spend $100 free over at More Beer, which will get you some cool stuff.
Get you a lot of cool stuff.
All right, Twitter and Facebook. It's all available on there. Send show ideas over to Scott at thebrewingnetwork.com. Send feedback to feedback@thebrewingnetwork.com. And I think that covers my announcements, right?
Where do show ideas go again?
Feedback?
No, I think they go to Justin.
No. Scott at thebrewingnetwork.com.
Are guest ideas the same as feedback? Or not feedback, as show ideas? Like,
yes.
If you want to have someone on, you should probably not send them to feedback, but to Scott,
To
right?
Scott at thebrewingnetwork.com.
All right, I'm sorry. I'm real stupid.
Can you just have the Pakistani guy sort it all out and send it to the right place?
All right.
What am I going to do?
Do we have a winner? Oh, I turned you down because you still haven't figured out how to
I
use.
know. Yes, we have a winner.
Practice right now. Turn your microphone off. Yeah, turn it back on. And then say something to me.
Hi.
Now you're done. Turn it back off. You're trained. You're now officially trained to use the microphone.
I did really well, and then I was going to tell you, I was just going to say we had John on line 1.
Right.
But then the phone kept ringing, and I was
Blah,
like,
blah, blah,
I should
no
just
one
answer
cares.
it.
Who gives
And
a
so,
shit?
blah, blah, blah. Shut up, JP.
John from San Diego, what's happening, my brother?
How's it going, guys?
Dude, you're caller number 12. You just won 2 tickets to Savor in New York City.
I'm the luckiest man in the world.
Now, being in San Diego, you do realize the tickets don't include airfare or hotel, right?
Yeah, that's fine. It's Savor.
Attaboy. It's well worth the rest, but we'll get you in there.
That's right.
I can hear him typing on eBay right now. Make an account.
That's what I was doing, eBay or the local Craigslist.
No, you're typing on Orbitz to figure out your travel plans right now, right?
That's right.
Attaboy. All right, John from San Diego, 2 tickets courtesy of the Brewers Association. You're going to Savor, and don't be shy. You could write back and tell us how it was, because I've been wanting to go for years and I've never been able to make it. So.
Savor,
I love it. Very excited. Thank you guys so much.
You're very welcome. Send me an email, Justin at thebrewingnetwork.com, and I will sort you out, brother.
Got it. Thanks, man.
Cheers. Enjoy.
Yep.
He's hawking them.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. Oh, San Diego? Yeah, I'll make that. Sure. $800 round trip flight?
It's only the farthest away.
It's Savor. It's fine.
All right. Now, hopefully he goes. He's going to go. Our listeners are pretty honest.
We should make them report back. And if not, we ban their IP address.
How would we know if the report is accurate? I mean, you can do anything now with a couple Google searches, Well, in room 1, there was, you see everything.
You take a photo outside the venue with, like, that day's newspaper.
Yeah, the newspaper.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
With a kidnapped child.
Photoshop.
Take a kid off the street. That way we know you're in New York. We'll listen to all the Amber Alerts.
All right, folks. Right now, we're going to talk about our Dortmunder experiment that we did with Tasty and Doc. And this is a suggestion, I think from more than one listener, but I do remember that Mills really put it into words for us. Most of our listeners don't use words. And he said, I got a great idea. He said, because Tasty has a different lagering method than Doc does, he recently started experimenting with it and found good results. And that essentially was to produce his lagers a little more like an ale. And we thought, let's try this out. Tasty, first of all, why don't you go ahead and describe your method? I know you've done it before, but what do you do differently than Doc does to lager?
All right. Well, my entire production of the beer is done in 2 weeks, the ferment. So in 2 weeks, I think I had it on the show after 2 weeks after I got the
We did taste yours, yeah.
Yeah, it was, we liked it. It was good beer. I think it tastes about the same right now, actually.
Okay. Good.
And so here's what I do. Okay, I cool in at about 53 degrees, and then I immediately let that rise to 55. I hold it at 55 degrees Fahrenheit until I get to 50% of the target attenuation. Right.
So you pitch at 53.
53.
You go ahead and take it from the kettle to the fermenter, but your yeast goes in at 53.
Right.
But you don't hold it there at all.
No, I just go right to 55.
You let it naturally rise to 55.
Right.
Okay. All right. And go
I
ahead.
do the same thing with ales. I always go in 2 degrees below what I call my primary fermentation temperature. I think it just it's a good thing to do.
Okay.
The yeast just start warming up right away. I think they like it.
Okay.
Anyway, so after I'm 50% of the way to the attenuation, I raise the temperature from 55 to 58 degrees, right?
And of course, you measure that 50% by your starting gravity.
Yeah.
You know what your terminal gravity is.
Yeah.
You split it down the middle.
Yeah, and I'm taking lots of hydrometer readings. After a couple of readings, you can kind of figure out where it's going. You can see, oh yeah, it looks like I'm a day away. And sure enough, it's like, and then when you do the next, again, on like when it's 50%, I raise it to 58. You can kind of see that it's slowing down a little bit. You can expect it to take more days to get to the next increment, which is 75% to the terminal gravity.
Okay.
Then I raise it to like 61 degrees, another 3 degrees.
Okay. Still, this whole time, you're under ale temperature, so it's not really accurate to say that you're doing it like an ale per se.
When I get to 75% there, the warmest I've been is 58 degrees.
Got it.
And that's 75%. And that's the gist of it, really. The gist of it is what happens as it warms up is it going to be a smaller contribution because it's a small part of the ferment. It's only in the tail end that it really gets that warm.
I understand.
For instance, when it goes to 75%, then I raise it to 61. Well, now we're getting into almost ale temperature, so that's pretty cool for an ale, all right? And then I hold it there until it's like 90%, then I go to 64, and then in about a day or so it goes to 100% to the terminal, or whatever it is. It's just an estimate, really. I mean, you think you'll get that, and what you get's another thing, but that's the target.
And so at 64, you're reaching terminal. Is there any sort of a diacetyl rest like you might do with an ale? Or
essentially, that's what you'll be doing at 61 and above. You're diacetyl resting.
Got it. Yeah. Okay.
And really, it's a warmer ferment, so you're not creating that many precursors to diacetyl.
Okay.
And then, it's, clarify it, carbonate it, start drinking it.
Approximately, and I know that everyone always asks, well, how long until I do the temperature raise? And so I know that you have to go by what the gravity is. Yeah. But what I'm curious about is the length of the whole process,
All right.
And it's going to vary for people.
Let me give it to you in days. Yeah, it's going to vary, depends on your situation.
I don't even want the temperature changes in days, because I think that's not accurate for people. I think you already described that accurately.
Yeah, that's just by temperature.
So that we can measure it against how long Doc's ferment takes. Approximately how long does this process take?
Well, on day 12, it was at 90% completed. So, like on day 14, it was done. So it was I think I brewed it on Doc brewed it on what was it?
Easter.
Easter Sunday, right?
Okay.
And I think it was a Monday I had it in the studio. So it's like a day extra over two. Day 15 we had it in the studio.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like April 31st.
Huh?
April 31st.
Okay.
And then he probably had it back in there by the 15th.
Yeah.
By the 15th?
Yeah.
Use that microphone, Doc.
15th.
Use that microphone like you've been in the studio before, will you?
Hey, I'm trying to look at my calendar at the same time, and the microphone's in the way. I can't say.
It's a heads-up device.
His eyes don't pivot.
Yeah.
Anymore. 14 days. I have had ales. In fact, all of my ales have not finished in 14 days. That's it's amazing.
Well, it finishes, sure.
Okay.
Well, it's a nice ferment. The yeast love that continually rising that treatment.
And most of the off flavors or the fruity kind of flavors are going to be formed at the beginning anyway.
Okay.
So he's getting through most of that ferment and all those kind of weird flavors that might get kicked off at a higher temperature. It's already done.
Got it. Okay. Now let's talk about Doc's ferment process, which is a more traditional lager. So what happened essentially was that Doc created a wort for both of them. He created all the wort for both of them, and then he sent Tasty home with a carboy or keg. What'd you take it home?
Carboy.
Took a carboy. So you took 7.5 gallons home, or something.
And the yeast separate, because I wasn't at pitching temperature.
Okay.
When I got it, so I had to overnight get it to pitching temperature.
I made a really big yeast starter.
So you guys split, so it was the same starter.
Proportionally the same amount of yeast that we pitched.
The same wort. All they were, at least in principle. And of course, there's going to be some variables, and we're going to talk about those things, because this wasn't a perfectly done scientific experiment here.
We even eyeballed the yeast.
Yeah.
Okay, that looks like about this much.
Yeah,
that percentage of
there were some things that we had to do, but in principle we tried to. But we'll talk about those variables as we go. Okay, so Doc, you were left with how many gallons of wort?
35.
Okay, nice big batch.
I made a big batch, 45 gallons, I think.
Okay, so you're left with 35, and you put them into two different conical fermenters. And before we talk about those two differences, let's just talk about the standard lager fermentation that you did.
The standard lager, I put it in at about 40. I get it cooled down as far as I can, about 48. It's tough to get down that last 20 degrees, but sometimes I have to let the conical do it. And I won't pitch before it's at 48, 49. Pitch it, and it'll usually rise to about 50. and hold it there.
Okay.
Period. Just kind of keep it just at that until really kind of right at the end. Then I might raise it 2-3 degrees, 53. Let it run for a few more days, and then I'll take it out of the conical.
So yours does not go above 53 degrees.
No,
Yeah.
and that's only right at the end.
Okay.
So I try to keep it cool the whole way, but it's going to take longer. I'm checking like Tasty does. I got to do a lot of hydrometer readings, and it just keeps going down. And I know what I'm going to end up with at the end.
So yours doesn't go up and down like mine does when I take hydrometer. That stood out to me for a second.
Pretty much I know where it's going
good.
at this point. And
Approximately how long is a traditional lager ferment that you do? Like
2
this?
weeks probably. 2 weeks to 3 weeks.
And then you...
Depending on how big a beer it is.
Okay, but Tasty's is 2 weeks at that.
Yeah, but this is before, and before I even think about touching it. So it could easily go 3 weeks or more. And I did change this up a little. My two conicals did two totally different things.
Okay.
One's a big conical, one's a smaller one. They behaved a lot different. One went down to terminal gravity for it, and it was about maybe 10 and a half. Pretty fast, like 3.5 weeks.
Okay.
And so that's maybe 4 weeks I took it out. The other one was still going. It was just chugging along. I left it in there. And then I got lazy, and I left it in there, and I got to get this out of here, and I left it in. It was in there about 6 weeks.
Okay. So let me clarify real quick. So at 15 days, we tasted Tasties,
Right.
but yours was not ready.
Mine was still fermenting.
Okay, so yours is about 4 weeks, and
Yeah.
then 4.5, and then that second one in a different...
That went for... It might have gone for 6-7 weeks in there, and I knew I left it too long, but I just couldn't get to it. I didn't have the space for the kegs, anything that I could do, so I finally made it, got it out of there. I was a little worried about it sitting on the yeast too long.
Okay,
but at 50, 52, I was less worried about it. If it was an ale sitting there that long, yeah, I'd worry about it.
And that was the larger or the smaller?
That was the larger one.
The larger of your conical
and that one
fermenters.
actually finished out about 2 points lower. That was about 10.9, 10.8, 10.8
Okay.
ish. And it just took long. It just kept dropping. I wasn't going to take it out of there.
So here's what I want to say, and we're about to taste the basically 3 beers. What Doc's talking about is we kind of discovered that the fermenter dynamics had an effect on the length of the fermentation in this case.
Definitely.
I'm going to admit that we don't have a lot of data as to why. What we do know is that the smaller of them finished relatively quickly, kind of a normal lager process in the 4-week range, and the larger one, as he's describing, took a little bit longer. So we have those in 2 different glasses so that we could also taste what the difference in fermenters did too in the length of time.
Right.
And then, of course, we have Tasties next to that as well, which was the one done in 15 days. And now it's been in the fridge for another couple of weeks. But Tasty, you're saying it tastes about the same as when we initially tasted it.
Obviously, it can't be the same, but I remember it's about the same. Yeah, it's not a big difference.
How do we know which is which here?
Oh, well, there's numbers on them.
Okay.
There we go. Oh, I see. I see the number. I got numbers. I got them.
Tell you the truth, we could have screwed up the numbers. But these look exactly the same.
They do all look...
appearance-wise, clarity-wise, they look exactly the same.
Yeah.
Everything. The color's the same. It's
head retention's the same. Nothing to be noted about appearance other than they're identical.
Yeah.
Okay. And by the way, they're all very, very clear. None of these filtered.
No. I used some findings early on, but no, there's no filtering.
One's a little cloudier than the other.
Number 3, probably.
Do you want me to say?
Might be.
On mine, number 1's a little bit more cloudy.
Yeah, 1.
Really? Okay, yeah, that's that. Okay, I've got them mixed up. But yeah, it's the way I number them. Yeah, that 3 is the one that was in the conical the longest.
I thought that was my beer.
I thought 3.
I poured on this in. This is 3.
3 is yours.
Yes.
Did we just blow the whole fucking experiment right there?
No, you'll see it.
Wasn't that the point?
No.
Okay. All right, good.
3. Yeah.
Just checking.
You said 1 is more cloudy.
Yeah.
Sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
that's the one. That's the one that just came out of the conical the least amount of time.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that was just. This has probably only been out of the conical about a week and a half, probably.
So number 2 is then the long conical, and number 3 is Tasties? Is that what we have here?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought we were doing like a best, like what tastes best.
Well, you could.
You can, but what we're really looking for here, and we can talk about the difference in kettle dynamics, but what we're really looking for is the difference between docks and tasties. The long fermentation, the standard lager experiment, and the short fermentation.
So, the 3 should be...
Tasties, short fermentation, 15 days. 14, really, because we tasted on day 15. And then the other ones here are docks longer.
1 and 2 taste exactly the same to me.
I agree with you.
3 tastes very different and much better, in my humble opinion.
I have to agree with you on that, too. It's weird that...
They're all getting warm, and I don't like them warm.
Yeah, the 3's maltier is what you're getting at.
Did they all finish about the same gravity?
I think I might have finished like a 12 versus your 11
and
9.
one of them was like a 10-11, and the last one was a 10-08.
10-08.
Yeah.
I think I can taste the alcohol difference in them, and that's part of what I like better about 3 is that it didn't finish down quite as far.
It's also they're warm now, and it's that's what's killing.
But that's okay.
Me.
We still, I honestly, I don't really care which one is better. In a sense, I want to know the difference.
Yeah.
And part of the difference is a lower gravity.
Yeah, that's the main difference here, probably. Yeah, a little more alcohol taste. You're going to get a little drier.
Yeah.
So the alcohol kind of comes out. It's got that kind of a sweet, non-grainy sweetness, but a different sweetness.
JP, what are you tasting in these beers? The difference between the short and the long fermentation?
I actually think that the number 2 and number 1 taste different. I think number 1 has more muddle flavors, where 2 and 3 have that round sweet malt, and then it kind of drops away and cleans up. But I think 1 has a little. We were talking about the beer earlier today, not in the same way, but sometimes beers can have kind of a maybe a lot going on, and it's not as crisp and clean as it should be.
Okay. So that's fine as a difference between 1 and 2, but are you telling me that you're not tasting a difference between the short fermentation and the long fermentation?
I am tasting it, yeah.
Okay.
Well, the short fermentation was 1, and the long fermentation was 3.
Yeah.
Yes.
2 is also a...
2 and 3 taste pretty similar to me.
Wait. 3 is the short fermentation.
3 short fermentation.
3 is short fermentation?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
We've said it a lot.
Well,
and then 1 and 2...
I got it backwards.
And then 1 and 2 are the long fermentation.
Okay, so then I like the short fermentations over the long fermentation.
Okay, and what are the differences there?
It's the same. I feel that the long fermentation, the flavors are a little bit muddled. They're not as crisp and clear malt wise. The hops are the same. The bitterness tastes the same. That's all great. To me, it's just purely malt differences.
I agree, and again, I think that's attributed to. And I'm not the expert on this, so you guys have to help out. But I think that's attributed to the gravity difference.
Well, it's also I still think I pushed these. These weren't dropped clear enough for me to even bring them in yet. They're still cloudy.
Yeah,
and so you're getting a little bit of yeast bite to them, and these are not in their prime yet by any means. They're still.
I get yeast bite out of 3, but mainly more in the nose. It smells like garbage.
I know, but it's these. I wouldn't have brought these out for, showcase for another probably 3 weeks till they really actually drop clear.
Then I have to say that the only thing I can summarize from that, because I'm quite happy with number 3. It's not a perfect lager by any means.
No, it's not.
But the only thing I can summarize is that Tasty's method works to speed up the process, because if it's going to take me another 3 weeks with the traditional lager to get number 3, to get Tasty's beer here, I'm with Tasty.
Yeah, 3's already there.
And again, this isn't a competition. It was just someone said, "Hey, why don't we give this a shot?" So we did.
Right.
I'm with Tasty on the method.
These things need to lager, be cold, sit for a lot longer.
But that's my point.
But with Tasty's thing,
don't.
Most people worry about tying up their fermenter for a long time. Commercial guys do.
Oh, yeah. That's why you don't see many commercial lagers.
Home brewers, it's tying up that fermenter time. You can have storage.
Yeah.
But it's tying up the fermenter and letting that go through. So if you can push it through and not get a lot of these fruity flavors from your lager yeast.
Right.
Hey, I'm all for it, too.
And I think this is an example of how that could be done on certainly on a homebrew scale.
I'd love to taste them afterwards because 3, you get a lot of yeast bite and aroma. 2 tastes more, has more of a complete malt character. 1 doesn't. If I rank them from malt character to style versus not, it would be.
Let me see your number 2.
3, 1.
Let me see your number 2.
Yeah, they must be. I'm thinking JP's were mislabeled or mispoured. It's inconceivable that he could have that analysis.
That's what I'm saying. Well, because everyone was saying, "Oh, well, Tasty brewed the cloudy one."
No, we were marking them,
but we went back on that. We went back on that. We said that at first, and then we fixed that.
But now I'm still not sure how I marked them either.
See,
really? But
Doc, you're killing me.
This being an experiment brought to you by the Brewing Network.
I put them all on there, and Tasty says, as he moves them all around, he goes, "Isn't this one mine?" And
we got to do it again. We got to take a break and do it again. How can I give this information to the listeners if it's not even
This is
accurate?
why we have a producer. Scott should just do everything.
No, we're only going to do it for you. We'll empty
That's
yours
fine.
out.
I will be the master judge. That's fine.
We'll just only do it for you.
I still have the number 3 here.
Is it the number 1?
Well, if
exactly.
it's
now we know that's your
I think
bottle.
it's the clearest one by the way I think they're numbered. Yeah.
So if you held up your beer, that's not it.
This is 3. I don't know. This is the clearest one.
Okay,
right?
this is 1.
Yeah,
this
maybe.
is 3.
We're going to take
3.
a very quick break. When we come back,
Why do I have 4?
We're going to do the Dortmunder tasting of the experiment. That is, if I don't shoot myself in the fucking face at the break.
You're listening to the Brewcasters on the Brewing Network.
There's an app on the iPhone for just about everything, including beer. Apps for finding a pint of beer. Apps that look like you're drinking a pint of beer. And now, there's an app for brewing a pint of beer. Introducing BrewPal, the most all-inclusive beer brewing app for professionals and hobbyists that fits in your pocket and goes wherever you do. Recipe formulation that can be imported and exported with a customizable database. Mash and sparge calculations, yeast pitching rates, carbonation tables, and more. Available right now for less coin than a pound of grain. See BrewPal in action at brewpal.info and download it for your iPhone at a special introductory price right now. BrewPal, all the brewing software you need, right in your pocket.
Where do you go for all the stuff you need to brew? Homebrewstuff.com, of course. In their Boise, Idaho storefront and warehouse, they have more than 750 craft beers and 8,000 square feet of homebrew products in stock. The staff at Homebrew Stuff are homebrewers themselves. They try out just about everything, including the beer, so they can answer your questions knowledgeably and correctly about brewing, kegging, and anything else you might need to ask. Don't live near the Homebrew Stuff store? Visit homebrewstuff.com online and take advantage of their $7.95 domestic shipping available on most orders. Homebrewstuff.com is a proud sponsor of the AHA, NHC, GABF, and countless other acronyms. So if you're a homebrewer looking for great people, a great selection, and great deals, head to homebrewstuff.com, online or in person. Visit their YouTube channel for loads of free how-to and product videos. All of the stuff you need to brew. homebrewstuff.com. Do you know the 3 most important rules in brewing? Sanitation, sanitation, and sanitation. And no one does it better than 5-Star Chemicals. 5-Star knows sanitation. You can only sanitize clean equipment. And 5-Star knows how to clean, too. For craft brewers and home brewers, 5-Star has what you need to keep your fermenters, serving tanks, kegs, and draft lines sparkling and free of any beer-spoiling bacteria. PBW, caustic, acid cleaners, Star San, Santa
clean, lubricants and defoamers, pH stabilizers, and more. 5-Star Chemicals has cleaning supplies, safety supplies, heat exchangers, pumps, hoses, and valves. And 5-Star is proud to offer eco-friendly products that exceed customer expectations. If you have a cleaning problem, you need the 5-Star solution. Visit 5starchemicals.com or call 800-782-7019. 800-782-7019 and get the 5-Star treatment today. When you hear Blickman Engineering, think innovation, passion, quality, and customer service. Blickman gear is designed by brewers to give you a sense of pride in your equipment. At Blickman, they know what makes brewing a pain and build gear that makes it fun. Like the intuitive beer gun, a completely different approach to filling bottles. The Therminator Wort Chiller, a new take on a plate chiller that's sized for flow, performance, and the high groundwater temps homebrewers face every day. The Brewmometer, a brilliant weldless thermometer design with brewing parameters right on the dial. The Autosparge, ultimate simplicity for preventing an overflow or running your mash tun dry. And much more, like the modular top-tier brewing stand, conical fermenters, and their Boilermaker brew pots. With more cutting-edge equipment coming soon, keep up with the latest from Blickman at blickmanengineering.com and stay on the cutting edge.
All right, BN Army, it's trivia time. What's the only homebrew shop with over 1,000 recipe kits, $4.99 shipping on orders over $100, and is also home of the Wolf Shirt? The one and only answer is Austin Homebrew Supply. For over 20 years, they've specialized in creating recipes such as the best-selling Texas Blonde Ale, Apocalypso, Hot Bomb 2.0, and Double Chocolate Stout. And they just recently unveiled their small grain kits that produce 1 gallon of beer. Visit AustinHomebrew.com to browse their extensive catalog of equipment and ingredients. They also have mini clone recipes of your favorite commercial beers. They're the exclusive retailer of BrewVent yeast fuel as well, Yeast Nutrient, and the all-new Bodybuilder. Follow Austin Homebrew Supply on Google Plus to participate in video hangouts on popular brewing topics. So visit AustinHomebrew.com today and make sure you sign up for their weekly email with news and specials. Austin Homebrew Supply, AustinHomebrew.com.
Mix me your 100-grain amber recipe, and I'm going to eat it. And then it can ferment in my gut. It totally works. The beer is almost identical to the grain sandwich.
Your colon won't know what hit it.
The home of live beer radio. TheBrewingNetwork.com.
Because like beer,
radio shouldn't suck. You're listening to The Session. 888-401-BEER. This is The Session.
yeah. Welcome back to the program. Hey, if you're looking to dial your recipes in and brew the perfect beer, check out Beersmith. Go to beersmith.com. You get a free 21-day trial of their brewing software. It's also available on mobile right now. You can get it for iPhone, iPad, Android, Kindle Fire. It's on sale now. Just check it out. But you get your free 21-day trial of the desktop version. It works on PC and Mac. And, you know, try it and you'll love it. It's pretty much... It's pretty much a guarantee. You're just gonna love it. Plus, thousands and thousands of recipes over on the Beersmith recipe site. You can brew with confidence. You can imagine your best beer ever. Get step-by-step instructions for any recipe. Build recipes in minutes. Match beer styles from around the world. Share and compare recipes with brewers from around the world. You name it. It's all available over on Beersmith.com, and you get free 21-day trial, so you don't have to take my word for it. And tell Brad that the Brewing Network sent you. Because, he deserves to know where you came from.
He does. He deserves it.
That said, God damn it! We've got our Dortmunder experiment back in front of me and JP. We've narrowed it down.
I can't tell you how happy I was that I didn't fuck up.
I was just going to say, do you know how happy I was to not be the one getting yelled at?
Yeah. I think Steve's going to get an earful tomorrow.
How did I end up pouring beer anyway? That's just wrong.
Well, it was wrong, and and now it's right. Although I have the two samples in front of me. Mine was right. So I have the exact same comments, and basically here's what we're going to do is clarify.
They're all wrong now.
Myself, Moscow, Doc Tasty, we're really all saying the same thing. Unfortunately, JP, the only BJCP certified judge in the room, had gotten the wrong samples, and I want him to be able to speak in an educated way about the two samples as well. So
I'm very educated.
We're basically back to the here's what we have in front of us. Number one, JP, is Tasty's beer,
and it's the long. I'm sorry. It's the short one, right?
And it's the 14-day fermentation. Number three, and Doc had two samples. They were in different kettles, but I narrowed that down.
That
to
was a long fermentation.
So we've got the very long, the 6-week fermentation is in number three. All right. I'm going to go back and just and really say the same thing that number one is the cleaner lager in terms of what I expect out of a Dortmunder and a lager for that matter. And number three, as Doc was indicating anyway, still needs to actually lager, not ferment, mind you, but lager for an additional couple of 2-3 weeks.
It needs to clear.
Yeah,
because you're tasting what I don't want to taste in there.
Some of that yeast bite and a lot of things going on.
It gives it more mouthfeel than you want. You want something clean and crisp.
Yeah.
We're drinking them. They're warm now. They're in the 60-degree range.
Which I understand is not perfect, but to me, with a palate like mine, it helps to bring out the differences in the two fermentations so that I can speak about it. So I know that it's not the way you want it to be tasted, but we all know that the more a beer warms up, the more some of those things are going to come out. And to me, it's helping me, I think, tell the difference between the two.
Well, could you imagine drinking, ungodly, yes, a Budweiser at this temperature? It would taste like crap.
Yeah, these taste good.
It just tastes like it's meant to drink really, really ice cold.
Yeah.
And the same token, trying to drink your bitter that we were drinking, way too cold, and you don't taste anything but bitter.
Right, it tasted great.
And so
I like my shit cold.
Like a hobby beer.
But it doesn't showcase it very well.
Well, I agree with you. However, I
don't like either of these right now at this temperature.
That's fine.
But
frankly, Doc, I don't care.
But they are.
I don't care.
I do. I'm going to keep talking over you
because the point is that the difference in the two fermentations.
They are definitely.
It's why we're here to talk about these two beers. Now, I'm also going to go back and say that the lower gravity, accompanied, of course, then by higher alcohol of Doc's longer fermentation, is doing the beer a disservice. Whereas Tasty's beer that it finished a couple of points higher, with a shorter ferment time, has less of the high alcohol off flavors that I'm tasting in the other one. Now, that could be a recipe situation, right? That could be corrected in another recipe that this lager could be fine. Or as Doc's saying, another 3 weeks in lagering.
I could have left number 2 in there the same amount of time. It wouldn't have gone down any farther. It finished at like 10, 11.
Okay.
It wouldn't have gone down any farther. It was the fermentation vessel.
Got it.
Bang.
Doc, can you pass me yours again, please? I ran out.
Which one?
3.
3.
So if I'm looking at this as a scientist, and we all know that science hates me, so everything that happens here is obviously taken not with 1 grain of salt, but with a pound of fucking salt. I
like to pound salt.
Either the beer fermented in if we're going to talk about geometry,
the vessel with a pestle,
the glass carboy did Tasty's beer a service and made it better, or his short lager time is perfectly fine to produce a good lager. And these variables would need to be tested again under another blind test. But I'm just saying that whether it was the vessel it was fermented in or the process that Tasty used, it works.
Yes.
The short lager works, Tasty.
It's as good or better.
You know, and comparing these two right now is probably not a good idea because this one's not been out of the conical more than a week. But
that's the point.
But if you want a quick lager, his way of doing it is great.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, that's more to the point. What you're saying
this has been done a lot longer. It's clear. It's not fruity. It's good.
It's cellared.
It's cellared. It's been cellaring longer.
It's been done a long time. So yours is still going on.
If you are afraid of doing lagers because it's going to tie up your time way too long,
Yeah.
this is a really good
It
method of
works.
doing it.
Yeah.
Well, is it
JP? Let's talk about the flavor differences you have here.
Which always seems like this is what I do, but I'm going against the grain here.
Be aware that I'm on the edge.
That's fine. I should not hold back from my personality.
Wait, of course not.
Could you get fired?
Yeah, I could. I like 3 better. I think 3 has a curve of malt. It starts high, it ramps up. There's a nice depth of malt, and it drops off. Yes, I do get the higher alcohol notes. There's a little more firmer bitterness, which I find kind of nice. But I think the shorter ferment is a little plateau. It starts and finishes, and then that's it. There's no peaks of malt.
Okay.
If that makes sense. I mean, yes, they
and
do.
Should a Dortmunder, and I'm genuinely asking this question, have that kind of more of a interesting malt, peaks of malt character, and not be so
I think
clean?
any beer should have it.
Yeah, any more interesting it is. Yeah, more character is going to be more.
It kind of comes and it works up, and then you. I will say that I think the fruity esters are pretty much similar.
Okay.
Yes, I think it will work. You can do a lager in 14 days. I think that's been proven time and time again.
Okay.
But I think for a flavorful beer like that, I think it does do time. It does do a service to wait it out.
Got it.
What JP said goes back to what you said too. Is with the lower terminal gravity, it messes up your GU to BU. So you're gonna get more of what you said about the bitterness is more apparent. Because you don't have the malty sweetness to back it up.
Okay.
So if you finish lower, it's going to seem more malty or seem more bitter.
But he's saying it has a better malt profile.
It has a better malt profile, but it finishes drier. It feels like it kind of comes off, and then the bitterness is there. There's that weird alcohol.
Get that more. It's just more apparent bitterness because of this. It's only a little bit of ratio difference.
Yeah. Then I can only conclude one thing:
that I'm retarded.
That this is the worst segment we've ever done in the history of the Brewing Network.
No,
I think we did one in 2006.
Let me.
Not at all.
Here's a key point, right?
It's ridiculous.
Say you were a brewer house and you tried both these yourself, right?
Yeah.
So you would taste one, you taste the other, and say, okay, on the 2-week recipe, we'll change it. We'll if we want this or that, if we want a lower finishing gravity, we'll deal with that.
You can adjust.
We'll make that happen, right?
Yeah.
So. It's a process that you can adjust the recipe to as well.
Oh,
these are amazingly close, I think.
Yes.
They're having such different processes.
They are amazing close. And to what Tasty's saying, if you're a brew house and you want to crank out a Dortmunder, you can definitely do it because, 90% of the people in this room thought they were exactly the same.
Oh, they're so close.
And then drinking public is going to be like 99%, right?
Right.
That's what you're pouring it for.
So it's not going to matter too much.
Not at all, hardly.
I think we should listen to the tape.
Yeah, but I've been brewing for 20 years. The thing that keeps me brewing is learning something new and wanting to try a different process, which is this.
Yeah.
And this works.
It does work.
So, yeah, I'm the next lager I'm doing. I'm not stuck on having to do it, the traditional way.
Sure. Well, it works, and I like what you're saying, Tasty, that you could adjust for the problem,
and even part of the process.
Or if I can just point out, though, if we were to listen to the tape, I'm pretty sure it was exactly the opposite of 90% of the room saying they were the same. In fact, it's really only you saying they're the same.
I'm not saying they're the same. I'm not saying they're the same at all.
Well, just in a general sense, they're the same. There's a 20% difference.
I want to know what Moscow thinks.
So, if you're the average Joe Blow drinker,
Moscow knows what I know.
think they're the same.
That if we were on radio right now, the general manager would have come in and set off a grenade.
Or a warhead?
That's what Moscow knows.
But in general, any of these beers that were here, they're out there. You're paying for these things. You're paying for a pint of these things.
Yeah.
And people are still liking them.
Okay.
You can do it
that
both ways.
Mark down the time and date of that.
Yeah.
Comment right there.
Done.
It's a different way of doing it.
Right.
And one of the things that we bring to people is don't be afraid to do a lager. Oh, it takes too long. It's going to tie up my fermenter.
Yeah.
Here's a way you can do it without screwing up a whole brew session.
Done. We did get that out of this segment.
Yes.
And I appreciate that.
Yeah. And we got you pissed off in the meantime.
I prefer the longer.
Right. Okay.
But I'll bring this back in about 4 weeks.
Yeah.
We'll try it again.
Please do.
Off my tap at home without it jiggling around all the way down here.
Yeah.
It's pretty nice.
Yeah.
It's a good temperature. It's clean. I didn't like it at this temperature at all. It came too fruity to me.
Do you like it better than Tasty's short version right off your tap at home? Or the same?
I think it's the same. It's so similar.
Perfect.
That the next time I do a log, guess what I'm doing?
Yeah, the short version. So Tasty, you were right.
The challenge.
Oh yeah,
the challenge. This is a challenge.
And by the way, this wasn't Tasty's idea. It came up from a guest on a show, right?
Yeah, and I said, haven't been able to find the show. I was like, maybe the listeners can help me.
No, somebody called in and told us at one point. We just forgot again. Yeah, I think so.
Oh, if they could call in again, that'd be great. Yeah, Spider-Ranger's been looking for me.
Oh, I thought we ended up getting the answer.
Oh, I don't know. It was some. I don't think I was even on the shows at the time. I think I was back on the couch in the garage watching or something like that.
But
got it.
Waiting to get high with Chad.
The two things with lager brewing is going to be tying up your equipment. It's too long, and temperature control. Sorry, you still have to have temperature control.
So yeah, I'm out for this one.
Well, but you can rifle through it in 2 weeks. And
I'm
get a
laughing
really
now
decent beer.
because it doesn't matter what happens. Bevo just did a tiny little click of the microphone, and it was like a nuclear bomb went off in my head. And it's fine.
Look at me like if lasers could have shot at us.
And I have to admit that my therapy's working because I just laughed at myself. Like, I was ready to chop off her head and punt it down the stairs.
Can we do that still anyway?
All I did was turn it on. Does we have it turned off?
It's not her fault we have terrible microphone in there.
This is the moment where Justin snapped, and it's the opposite that we thought it was going to be. I'm actually just crazy now, and I will giggle. I'm actually just now going to giggle through everything that happens.
So, if I tell you that I accidentally closed out of our private message box, will you be mad at me?
Is Justin TV still in failure as well?
Yes. That's been in failure for most of the show.
Oh, my God.
If I tell you that I accidentally confused your credit card with mine and ordered $200 worth of baby clothes off Target.com, will you be mad?
Hey,
I haven't been to Target all afternoon.
As long as they didn't order the wrong pizza, I'm cool.
All right, I just messaged you again, Bevo.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry.
Cunty McCunterson.
All right, 888-401-BEER. Feel free to call in and tell us whether you learned anything or that we're complete retards.
There's a lot of people that actually did learn a lot. They're talking about it in the chat pretty heavily.
Great.
If you have any questions, call in, because I'm always not that clear on this fermentation thing.
I'm excited.
Well, you
about
put yeast in. Well, we'll go over it on the break.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Hey, Steve-O liked it.
Yeah, but what's that saying?
I like Steve-O.
Yeah, but what's that saying?
Right.
Hey, look, Doc likes Steve-O. Good thing.
All right, are we ready to do some beer news? What do you think, Moscow?
Yeah, we can do some beer news.
It's pretty much scheduled in this segment.
Can
We've
I say
got,
I like fast beer news better than slow beer news? Is that right to say that?
You can say that.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
It's a shorter segment?
At this point, it means nothing, but you can say it.
What does that get you?
Or I might like slow beer news better than fast beer news. I don't know. Read it both ways.
Holy shit.
What is slow beer news?
No, I was pretending to have a joke.
We could have been done with beer news by now.
I was pretending to make a joke.
And you know what? You could not have picked a better time.
I know.
for
Thank
that.
you very much. Not much changes over 8 years, does it?
God, you guys all disappoint me.
You ready?
Yeah.
It's the Brewing Network's Beer News, brought to you by Belgian Beer Me and Bamberg Beer Me Beer Tours.
What do we got, Moss?
3 months after the Small Brewer Reinvestment and Expanding Workforce Act, a mouthful, was reintroduced in the House of Reps as H.R. 494, the Senate version was reintroduced by Senator Ben Cardin and Senator Susan Collins. The Small Brew Act, as they're calling it, it seeks to recalibrate the federal beer excise tax. We've talked a lot about states. In this case, it's the federal, that small brewers pay on every barrel of beer they produce. Under current federal law, brewers making less than 2 million barrels annually pay $7 a barrel on the first 60,000 barrels they produce, and $18 a barrel for every barrel thereafter. This act seeks to recalibrate that, so the smallest brewers and brew pubs would pay only $3.50 a barrel on the first 60,000 barrels. So I know it sounds like stuff we've reported before, but again, this is the federal. This is the umbrella, not each state. I've gone state by state.
Got it.
For production between 60,001 and 2 million barrels, the rate would be $16 a barrel. Any brewer that exceeds 2 million, the Sammy and Sierra and the big boys, would pay the full $18 rate.
I like it. How can anybody who's for small business or business at all argue with this?
Again, it's that question of why would you oppose it? I guess you would oppose it because they would say, well, when you adjust that rate, then it's $60 million a year in tax revenue that is now staying in those businesses instead of being collected by the federal government.
I don't think anybody would be willing to say that. I think the only people opposing it are the boys who are at the top. And it's not because they're going to benefit from it, right? It's that if the craft beer, which is doing so well, gets yet another advantage, and by the way, they don't have any advantages, but that's how the lobbyists for big brewers would look at it, then it hurts big beer. I'm telling you, the only people that oppose this are the lobbyists for big beer, because they don't want to see craft beer do any better than they're doing right now.
Because if you're keeping that money, you're going to reinvest it in your business. If you're doing under 60,000
60,000,
yeah. So your taxes come way down, over half, right? Yeah. And then if you're making over 2 million, you only get a $2 break. But still, if you're doing 2 million barrels, if anywhere you can save $2 is rad, right?
Exactly. The only people in the ear of the folks that are going to vote on this are the big beer lobbyists.
Right.
I mean, just think about it. That's it. Because they're fucked either way. They're paying the $18 a barrel or whatever it is. But they also know that craft beer is on the rise while they're stagnant. So why lend another hand? It's the people spending money. I'm telling you, there is not another soul on this planet other than big beer and those lobbyists who are against this.
But also, if you're big beer, you can save $2 a barrel.
If you lower it for just the lowest guys, it's going to mean more startups too.
Right.
Are they dropping it $2 for big guys too? Is that what you said?
Over 2 million, right?
I see.
Yeah, but it's still gonna it's more for the startup guys, and that means there's more breweries per capita.
That's true. Although what JP said it's not 16 a barrel for the big guys. That's for 2 million barrels or less. It's everyone above that, which is the big guys, is 18 the regular rate.
Sorry. Okay, got it.
And stays that way. No matter what. That's what I'm saying. And those are by the way, those are the only people employing lobbyists.
And they're not changing anything for. There's still 18 for them.
Yeah.
The only guys arguing about it are the guys that let's not give it to them.
Yep. So, well, and of course they're lobbying. Like, why wouldn't people be trying to, convey their interests to the powers that be? Like, of course they're going to lobby. Everyone lobbies. Why wouldn't they?
Right.
Now, the only thing that I would wonder is, wouldn't they want the overall share of what people are drinking to be beer? Because that is what's down, right? Wine and spirits have kind of encroached on beer's market share by a few percent over the last, decade or so.
Okay.
It's gone from like 53 to 46 or something like that for beer. I would think that they would be interested in seeing that number rise for overall beer, because that will eventually lead to more sales for them, I would assume. Right?
No. That's it. No.
Negatory.
And I'll tell you why. And you can just look at the growth of craft beer. It has been on the steady incline for several years, where for the first time since Prohibition, big beer has been stagnant, and in some cases on the decline. So they're not actually seeing the benefits of craft beer increasing its market share.
Well, yet.
But it's such a scary thing to see that happen, that investment in the future that may or may not happen. By the way, people buying more craft beer, I don't know if it's ever going to translate into more macro beer. I just really don't think it's going to happen.
Well, they must agree with you, because they are trying to,
Yeah.
We should call this the Trouble with Numbers show.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is almost every show. We're just shining a spotlight on it.
But this is actually for real.
What do you have next?
San Diego State University's College of Extended Studies has launched a professional certificate program called the Business of Craft Beer, set to start this fall. Classes will be held both on-site at breweries and at the SDSU campus, allowing students to network with industry experts, as the brochure says. In addition to actual brewing, the program is going to give students some insights into other aspects of the trade, including packaging and engineering and maintenance, information technology, logistics, and all that good stuff. So it really is sort of a well-rounded study of the entire industry, not just brewing. UCSD as well will be offering a similar program very soon, according to university officials. Freshmen and sophomores, don't bother applying. You got to be at least 21.
Who is not happy about this?
That's pretty
More
good.
beer education in schools. This is awesome. Another program. I like that it's the business side of things. It makes sense that it's in San Diego.
Yeah.
What's the movie that we had on the guy with his DVD?
That was Suds County, USA.
Yes.
Sheldon Kaplan.
Fantastic example of the beer history in San Diego and how craft beer has been growing there in recent years. And it's not just some weird explosion. There's a whole bunch of background to it. Chris White himself, who's part of that, has taught at, I believe it's UCSD, is a graduate of UCSD. And to see a business program there, that's rad. And what was it? It was our interview last week or something. There's a program opening up somewhere in another state far away that's never been.
That's right.
Where are they opening this year? In about
North Carolina?
I think he said it was in North Carolina. And I love to see this because why not educate these young entrepreneurs?
Right. Well, hopefully it'll lead to better marketed craft beer. I think craft beer suffers from a lack of marketing know-how.
Yeah.
There's a lot of really terrible marketing in craft beer,
right?
Especially social media. But just packaging and graphics and how to get stuff out and distribution. So the more we can learn, the better.
As long as it's coupled with good beer, because I would hate for it to go back to look at this rad bottle that has a bunch of shit in it.
That's always going to be there, though.
Yeah.
The drinkers aren't that sophisticated. The rad bottle is going to sell beer, no doubt.
Yeah.
The only theoretical downside I can conceive of is that there might be sort of a flood of people that expect great gigs straight out of college because they have a degree. That's kind of panned out in other industries too, like just too many people that feel entitled to something when maybe putting in some time in the industry and working your way up to something might be more effective.
Sure.
Most people we talk to say that, like, don't go to whatever, just get a gig and learn it and stick with it.
Well, it sounds like the good thing about this program is that they are sending them out to breweries. It said a lot of the courses and the education will happen at breweries themselves as well as on campus. So maybe that will help to bridge that gap.
Maybe.
By the way, I am putting a patent on Rad Bottle. Because wouldn't that be an awesome beer name? Like
Rad Bottle?
Yeah, it would just say Rad Bottle, and it would be a Rad Bottle, and there would be a Rad logo, and you'd buy Rad Bottle.
Yeah, and every party you go to, it's a who's on first routine. What do you want to drink? Just hand me the Rad Bottle. A Rad Bottle of what? And
But if you're at the store and you're looking at a bunch of bottles, why wouldn't you pick the one that's rad? I mean,
Right.
it tells you it's Rad Bottle.
I want it shaped in the word rad.
Rad Bottle beer.
Right? Remember old whiskey used to come in like different statues and shit like that?
Yeah, like a cowboy sitting on a stump or something.
Yeah.
We just have the word rad.
I did a whole fake interview on my shitty blog about some new craft brewer.
Yeah.
Making bottles of beer in shapes of mustaches. I thought that would be fucking hilarious if that actually really happened.
It would be a rad bottle.
Rad bottle.
Yeah.
Brought to you by Rad Packaging.
Yeah.
Who would drink out of a mustache?
People in Portland.
That's not me. I have a mustache, and mustaches fucking gross me out.
I love them. They're great.
Yeah,
you can sit here and chew on it.
You want a mustache ride?
People talk while they're eating. They come talk to you. You know what the worst thing is? When they have the long mustache.
Stop it.
And you're at a beer fest, and every time they take a drink when they're talking to you, you got to look at the beer dripping off their face.
Looks like they took one off the chin.
And I don't do that. I trim the mustache, and if I feel it on there, I wipe it off.
I trimmed the mustache.
But I got to look at the suds on your mustache for 10 minutes?
That's a neophyte mustache owner, because us old school mustache owners know once you drink, you have to do this.
Yes!
You have to wash it off.
Or you have a napkin in the other hand.
Oh,
I have my hanky.
Well, yeah, or you could do the move where you bring the lower lip above the upper lip and wipe it off with that.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Oh, that's even worse.
Yeah. God forbid I have to watch you eat salad with ranch dressing.
Shay, our friend Shay Comfort, who was on talking about yeast for a while, he has a big gnarly mustache.
I wasn't going to bring him into it.
Oh, I'll bring him to it any day of the week. And we go often for pints of Guinness. And he just, boom, and it's just this big, long thing, but he knows how to wipe it off.
He does the...
And then the guy who does that. All right, let's take Shay for example.
Yes, please.
So at least he's smart enough to wipe it off.
Right.
But he's really enjoying the beer.
Yeah.
He thinks it's something you should taste. You just watched his mustache dip into the beer, and now he's like, "Oh, you got to try this."
But he's very.
You got to
clean.
be fucking kidding me.
He's like a cat. He'll lick his thumb and just go like that. Wipe it off.
I'm not touching that.
Good point. I'm going to stop drinking off his beard then.
All right, what else you got, Moscow?
A couple more quick ones. A bill that has unanimously passed both houses in Illinois and awaits Governor Pat Quinn's signature will clear the way for homebrew clubs there to resume serving free samples of beer at festivals.
Thank God.
Yeah. Long time coming. The bill, known as HB 630, also clarifies that homebrewers may share their beverages, quote, at any private residence or other private location where the possession and consumption of alcohol is permissible, so long as they aren't shared with the general public. It also allows home brew shops to serve free samples. The issue came to a head last year when the Illinois Liquor Control Commission ruled that homebrew clubs couldn't serve beer at the Peoria International Beer Festival, even though for 20 years clubs had been pouring free samples at that fest in exchange for free admission. So the state cracked down on them, and homebrewing clubs and equipment shops got together. The AHA helped them out, and they formed the Illinois Homebrew Alliance, which made this bill happen. So all is right in Illinois.
So it's done. It's signed and ready.
It awaits the governor's signature, but it passed unanimously, so it's inconceivable that the governor would not sign it.
Well, I'll tell you what, if this is done by the governor, this is one of the most lenient homebrew states that there is. The fact that you can bring it anywhere and,
it sounds like they learned.
Short of selling it?
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of don't ask, don't tell states, and I'll tell you, California's kind of one of them. It depends on which office you call, which ABC official that you get. But to actually have it in writing, I think Oregon has a similar thing now after a little scare that they had where they weren't allowed to bring the beer out of their house. This is one of the most lenient things ever. It basically says you can give it to almost anybody as long as you're not selling it.
Not charging for it, yeah.
And I'm for that.
I love it.
Yeah, it is.
Underage girls?
They
no. It doesn't actually. What's funny? I did read this. I read this.
Of course, you read that.
And it did. Well, what's funny about it is it basically says it's allowed anywhere that it's allowed to pour alcoholic beverages, and for that matter, to people. And I do like that. This is the epitome of a logically written bill, because it's giving them permission, but it just says, like, if there's already permission to do it there. In other words, you're not going to the playground. Right. You're not even going to the park, for that matter, because, there's no liquor license there. It's not a beer festival. Yeah. It's not a bar. It's not a designated homebrew club meeting. It's not a homebrew shop. It kind of uses common sense in the writing of the law.
Which in Illinois seems like a rare occasion.
Well, it seems rare everywhere, maybe especially in Illinois.
It's okay if it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is rare there. That's why...
that should be what the bill's called. It's okay if it's okay.
Right.
Same with sex. That should be their sex law. It's all right if it's all right.
Yeah. If you can still walk, it's okay.
They modeled it after Oregon and I think Maine or whatever the most lenient states were.
Yeah.
They basically just looked at how they worded it and did the exact same thing.
Good. And why not? I love it.
About time.
All right, last one. Alcoholic beverages soon could have nutrition labels on them like those found on food packaging, but only if manufacturers want to put them there.
Great.
The Treasury Department...
Let's write a law that says, whatever, if you want to.
If you want to do it, do this.
You feel like it. The Treasury Department, which regulates alcohol, said this week that beer, wine, and spirits companies can use labels that include serving size and servings per container, and just like you would find on a package of Oreos. Such package labels have never been approved before. So not only are the labels voluntary, but it's also a temporary decision while the the TTB considers what final rules will be. They proposed this once back in 2007, but the agency never made the rules final. So winemakers don't want it, right? Because they don't want to mess with the streamlined look of their bottles.
Right.
And beer makers don't want it because they don't want consumers counting calories.
Good call.
But everybody like Diageo, the world's largest distiller, they make Johnny Walker and Smirnoff and Cuervo and Tanqueray. They want this to happen because they want to advertise that their alcohol is the lowest carb way to consume alcohol because people are looking to be on Atkins.
Sure. Well, fuck it. Let it happen. If the law is, I don't care what you do, then make it a law. I mean,
you feel like it,
Isn't that what it says?
Yeah.
Or not? I mean, so if it's a law that says you can do it if you want, so right now it would be illegal to do that?
Well, no, but
so it's already a law.
Well, you're right. Except here's why the alcohol companies that Moscow mentioned want to make it. Although you're right, it still makes sense because it's a prerogative.
Yeah. No, I get
situation.
what he was saying. Yeah,
but if the beer companies are forced to do it, if they're forced to do it,
right,
then side by side on a shelf or in a discussion, alcohol wins to calorie counters.
Of course,
over beer.
Yeah, Guinness already does this, by the way. on their cans. They
Do
have
they?
nutrition information. Yeah,
That's a bad idea.
Tall Boy
Forget it.
Guinness is 125 calories.
Is
It's
it?
nothing. Yeah, it's nothing.
That's probably what I mean.
Because of the low alcohol.
Right.
Yeah. Well, what a stupid thing.
I'm going to make it a law that says it's okay. If you want to breathe, go ahead and breathe. Oh, shit. Now I'm not a fucking juvenile.
But that's not a law, actually, because you're not allowed to commit suicide. So to not breathe is illegal.
In America.
If you were to hold your breath until you died, that's illegal. You're not allowed to kill yourself.
What are they going to do? Fine me?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
It's illegal. Isn't that stupid, too? It's illegal to kill yourself. Really? What are you going to do? Lock me up.
Is there really a law that says that, or is it illegal to help someone kill
No, it's a
you?
law.
No, it's on the books.
Yeah, it's illegal to kill yourself.
Yeah, you cannot kill yourself. Now, I don't know why attempted suicides don't get thrown in jail.
Because
I think they do.
It's attempted murder.
It's only
of yourself.
It's only attempted. You didn't actually commit the
do
crime.
it. So you're right. See, Doc, it's
sorry.
only illegal if you break the law.
You committed the crime.
Which is to kill yourself.
I tried to rob a bank, but I didn't actually rob the bank.
Yeah, well, but
so-
they have intent to distribute for drugs. Why not intent to rob a bank, intent to commit suicide?
They don't have intent to kill yourself yet.
No, I think they do. I think that's why they send you to like the
loony
psych
bin?
ward
Oh,
for
yeah.
72 hours.
That's only 3 days.
Nah, they can do that for anything. You don't have to be...
Yeah, but if you do that, I think it's mandatory that you do that.
You have to be a danger to yourself and others. Or others.
You know what's making me feel better is Bevo's cleavage.
Thank you.
I just noticed it.
I have to go to the bathroom now.
JP, you said as long as you're in a
That is
danger
gross.
to others.
Yeah.
So you're in there like 3 out of 7 days?
Yeah, basically.
I'm going to turn my microphone off now. Don't yell at me.
All right, that's this week's beer news brought to you by Belgian Beer Me and Bamberg Beer Me Beer Tours. Like them both on Facebook to follow current and upcoming tours. BelgianBeerMe.com.
I love it. We'll be back with a little bit of feedback. We can do some Drunk of the Week if anybody's out there feeling
Who
drunk
would that
of
be?
Drunk of the Week.
I don't know.
It's The Session. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. On the Brewing Network.
By popular vote from the Northwest Brewing News, HopTech has been voted the best homebrew shop in Northern California. Serving homebrewers for nearly 30 years in Dublin, California, HopTech carries more than 40 different kinds of hops and more than 60 different grains, malt extract, spices and sugars, hop oils and extracts. Open every day except Wednesday or shop online anytime at hoptech.com or call 1-800-DRY-HOPS, 1-800-379-4677. With in-store classes almost every Saturday, huge selection and a dedicated commitment to their customers, HopTech is one of the longest running and passionate homebrew stores, period. And now, by popular vote, the best homebrew shop in Northern California. And don't forget their 15% military discount. HopTech. Visit today at hoptech.com.
When I order a beer, I want my server to know more about it than I do. I want someone who enjoys good beer and loves helping others enjoy it too. I want someone who knows how to pour a perfect pint for any beer style. I want a Cicerone. The Cicerone certification program is creating the type of people who help you enjoy great beer. Home brewers and craft beer lovers know beer is more flavorful and complex than ever, and it takes some serious knowledge to store and serve beer right. Cicerones know beer. There are 3 levels in the Cicerone program: Certified Beer Server, Certified Cicerone, and Master Cicerone. Cicerones are truly the sommeliers of beer. The best beer locations have a certified Cicerone on staff. Relaxed and unpretentious, Cicerones are tested on storing and serving beer, beer styles, flavor and tasting, the brewing process and ingredients, and pairing food with beer. Learn more about your next beer guide at cicerone.org. Certified Cicerone, because it takes top talent to present a perfect pint.
Did you know the Brewing Network's very own Code Writing Fool's son, Ryan Wolf, has opened a beer mecca in Missouri? The Wolfbrow House of Beer has hundreds of beers from all over the world and is conveniently close to I-70 in St. Peters. Free tastings Saturdays 4 to 6 p.m. featuring special guests from local breweries. The best build-your-own six-pack around with every style represented. And kegged craft beer available for your kegerator too. There's always something new at the Wolfbrow House of Beer.
New and hard to find beer every week. No two visits are the same, just like passing out at the Rat Pad.
Hi, this is Ryan from Wolfbrow House of Beer. Mention the Brewing Network when you stop in for some cool free stuff. Mention JP for a swift kick in the ass.
The Wolfbrow House of Beer. Beer with personal service from a member of the BN Army.
This is Code. Visit my son's shop or I'll yank the BN website down.
www.wolfbrow.com.
In a world where everything has been lost.
What happened to the city? It's in ruins.
Only one man has the ancient knowledge to restore civilization.
I need a drink. Oh no, the liquor store's been ransacked.
You looking for beer, stranger? Boy, all the liquor got drunk up in the first 25 minutes of the apocalypse.
Wait, there's still some bottles over... Oh, no. Those are non-alcoholic beer.
I reckon you better stick to arrowroot tea and a desperate nomadic existence like the rest of us.
People, I'm a home brewer. I know how to make alcohol. It can't be done. Come with me if you want the beer.
Okay, I'm gonna need some big plastic buckets. He is the chosen one. The prophecies say that he's gonna get us wasted.
Someone start heating water.
And from the creators of Northern Brewer, the people who brought you massive selection and superior customer service, comes the Home Brewer.
Here's a bite for beer lovers. Soft caramel made with real craft brew and coated in chocolate. And Hop Drops, hard candies made with real hop oil. Introducing Beer Candy from beercandy.com. Beer Candy's amazing caramels come in 4 mouth-watering flavors. IPA, bitter gold, wrapped in smooth white chocolate. Lager, made with a familiar beer from Boston and coated in milk chocolate. Lambic, soury Belgian goodness full of fresh raspberry and dipped in dark chocolate. And Stout, roasty cocoa chocolate insanity. Hop Drops are made with Fuggles or Cascade hops and are known as the candy that bites you back. Choose from sampler and full sizes of both and make your mouth jump to life. All at beercandy.com. Hop Drops and beer caramels satisfy your sweet tooth as only a beer lover could with Beer Candy. Visit beercandy.com today.
Wait till you can pour it out of your own kegerator.
I mean, your friends will look at you with awe.
And it's just hot.
It is?
It's so super hot.
The home of live beer radio.
TheBrewingNetwork.com.
Because like beer,
radio shouldn't suck. You're listening to The
Session.
One night to be confused, one night to speed a tree.
listening to the Brewing Network. Because like beer, radio shouldn't suck.
I've never swallowed a piece of pizza so fast.
It doesn't sound like you've quite swallowed it yet.
Inhaled it.
Hi, my name's Pizza.
Just a little quick food break there for everybody.
And I don't have any beer.
So, if I accidentally ordered enough pizza to feed a small army, would you be mad at me?
Is it a BN army? Whoa!
What do I owe? Like $200 in pizza?
Close.
Yeah, she got $85 for pizza. What the fuck?
Our budget's like $40. How'd we do?
Good.
Bevo doesn't get paid for 10 years.
Bevo's like, great. Did I mention I have to leave early?
I have to leave right now.
I'll just leave the receipt on near the door on my way out.
I'm going to eat the receipt so you can't find it.
All right. Hey, go check out homebrewersassociation.org. The American Homebrewers Association is a badass group of people, if I don't say so myself. I enjoy working with Gary Glass. He's the president over there. Catherine Porter with the AHA. Just a lot of really good people that are working hard for you. You can become an AHA member by clicking the AHA link right there on the bottom right of our homepage. And it's kind of an affiliate program. We get a little help out of that, too. But most importantly, if you haven't checked out homebrewersassociation.org recently, go over and check it out. I'll give you one reason right now. The brewer of the week this week is a real creepy-looking dude. His name is Corey, and he has bigger hair than I do, and also a larger mustache. You going there right now?
I'm going there right now, yeah.
They do a Brewer of the Week profile where you get to learn about different home brewers, and I'm sure Corey's a nice man, but I feel like he just got done at his porn shoot.
Wait till I show you a picture of my dad from the 1970s.
Looks the same.
Dead ringer.
If Charlie Papazian and Frank Zappa had a kid, it would be Corey.
It would be Corey.
Yeah.
Maybe they did.
Oh.
Go to homebrewersassociation.org. Check it out right now. There's always a Brewer of the Week. There's a lot of other things up there, too. They cover different stories on brew clubs. There's an AHA forum, which is quite a large forum now, and always good topics going on over there. You can find out everything you need to know that's going on in homebrew. And, you've been hearing us talk about this for a long time, so just go do it already. Sign up to be a member. And even if you don't, use the website. It's a fantastic resource. It's really grown over the last several years. So homebrewersassociation.org. Check it out. All right. I think it's time for feedback.
Let's do it.
Please.
We've done about everything else. Looks like I got phone calls, too.
There's a good feedback today, too.
Is there?
Yeah, I think so.
Compared to what?
Compared to...
The rest of the show?
Compared to Dead Air.
I'm told that Susie should call in for Drunk of the Week.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Is she still celebrating her stupid birthday all month long or something?
How much attention does she need? Does one Asian need?
She did like a... I think she's doing a 365-day birthday or something. Isn't that something like that?
I don't know.
Birthday!
Nicole.
She's been very low-key since that show.
Yeah, where did she go? She's been under a rock since then.
She's like me. She gets mortified about her drunken behavior, and that was maybe her final straw, you think?
Maybe. I don't think she's even said the words Brewing Network.
Bevo, what does the first caller, Slow Brewer, want?
To go to talk about the beer.
She's on the phone with other people anyway. Before I get into feedback, maybe I should take these calls.
I'd do feedback.
I'm assuming it's Slow Brewer, but
how slow?
After all this time, Bevo still doesn't put line 1 or line 2 or line 3.
That would take work.
Or line 4.
Her mic's off right now, though. Let's, it's baby steps.
Hey, my staff doesn't.
Is
either.
it baby steps or is it like it's special steps with Bevo? Isn't it?
It's like bound foot steps where it's just
this whole show. It's
Short
special.
steps. short steps, like the short bus.
This is the special step show.
Okay, I realize I didn't put them in order. I didn't number them, but they're in order. So the first guy is line 1, the second guy is line 2, and I did put line 3 for Drew.
That's awesome, because that's
The
better
first
than
one
what
is
we
drunk of the
did.
week too, and I didn't put that
So there
either.
you go. 1 out of 3. 33% of the time, she does it right.
You know,
33% of the time, it works every time.
in baseball, she's an all-star.
Right? She's a Hall of Fame.
I don't know what I'm complaining about. She's a Golden Glover right now.
That's right.
Slow Brewer, what's happening?
Hey, what's up, Justin?
How are you, buddy?
Hey, buddy. I'm calling in for Drunk of the Week.
Good. Cheer me up. Tell me something stupid about yourself.
Oh, man.
Besides his
stupid. You know what? What's really stupid is I live 20 minutes south of Pasto, and I did not go to Firestone Walker Invitational this week.
That is very stupid.
Yeah, you missed out.
Because it was way too hot in Pasto.
Dude.
Can we just talk about
But
the
they had beer.
amount of hot chicks that were at that stupid festival?
A lot of good-looking girls.
God bless Almighty.
So I've heard.
Tell me about it.
It was like a 1-to-1 ratio,
If I'd had
right?
some campground passes, you'd have met them.
Yeah. And I like God bless Almighty, because that's really, there's nothing else to say.
It's unbelievable.
There, it was,
They're all from here, though.
Even the walking comic book
and you've
chick was
done
really
them all.
hot.
They're all from San Luis Obispo?
Yeah, they are. They're all, chicks from California Polytechnic State University, San Luis Obispo.
Well, God bless that school.
What would you prefer?
Yeah.
How drunk are you?
Pretty drunk.
To say...
I'd say like a 7.
Okay. What have you had? And I don't need like a full list. Give me like a general idea. How many beers you had?
10, I think.
Since when? Yesterday?
No. Well, wait, no. Hold on.
Let me think about that. I did start a while ago.
Yeah, like 7, I think. Yeah, I started at like 5 when I got home from work.
Okay. Well, yeah, you're having a few. What are you drinking?
I've had Lagunitas Little Something Something. I had Kona Brewing, the Wailua Ale, and Black Butte. Oh, it's pretty good. And I had 2 Doppelbocks and 3 Firestone Walker pills that just came out.
The Pivo pill.
Yeah,
I love
pretty
that
good.
pill. That's great.
Anybody there you can
Good
fuck with?
beer.
Anybody at your house there that you can mess with?
Oh, I've got my wife and my roommate that are sitting here, and they're trying not to make fun of me right now.
Take a crap on the coffee table.
Of course you'd say that. Is it a glass coffee table? Because you need somebody under it.
No. I fell through a glass coffee table one time when I was real drunk. That was a 10. This is a 7.
The old glass bottom boat. When you take a shit on a glass coffee table with your friend underneath.
I heard that's called a plate job. I just learned that's called a plate job.
Oh, it is?
It's a genre at Adam and Eve, isn't it?
It's called German.
I mean, it's different than a hot plate, which is when you put saran wrap over your friend's face and shit on it.
Which I don't really understand. How do you breathe?
Well, very carefully. You don't wrap it tightly around the back.
Yeah.
You just kind of
you stretch it over the mouth.
I tried it once. Somebody died.
Somebody died.
Right. I didn't even get to shit. They were dead.
Claw into my beehole, tore my lower intestine out trying to fucking breathe.
What fun was that?
Yeah, that's no fun at all.
Like a dead person.
You're dead.
Give me another person.
Gross.
You're dead, and I still gotta go. You're ridiculous.
Yeah, and who's going to clean it up?
Yeah.
Your wife and your roommate, huh? That's
Yeah.
Roommate, a guy or a girl?
It's a girl.
Nice work.
Friend of yours or friend of your wife?
A friend of my wife.
Of course it is.
You're lucky, because if it was a
Well,
dude
she's
of
a friend
any
of mine
kind,
now.
They ever kiss?
if that's a fair question.
Yeah.
Did they ever kiss?
I don't think so.
If you can get them to.
Put one of them on.
Oh,
I bet you
guys,
they have.
this is not going to work. This is
Are
not
they
going to work.
drinking?
No, they're not.
And
It's just
forget it.
me.
Forget
That's
the
what's
whole
totally
thing.
weird about it.
They're too rational. No.
All right, can you...
Rational. They know that it's a bad idea.
Yeah, no,
all right, here's what
even
you're
I
going
know
to
it's
do.
better.
How's that pizza beat?
I won't even take another phone call for Drunk of the Week.
Because.
And I will throw in a BN hoodie.
Ooh, man.
Oh, fuck. I'll do anything for a
Light?
BN
I
hoodie.
don't know if we have those to spare.
We do.
Yeah, you got the little ones.
If they're both there right now in front of you.
They are, yeah.
I want you to drop trow and play boner chicken right now.
How do you play boner chicken with chicks?
Well, you're going to stand there, and they're both going to stare at your. They're going to both stare at your wiener, and as soon as it moves, they're going to scream, and we're going to listen.
You're going to make me do this with my wife and my roommate?
That's correct.
That's correct. And I won't even take another. I won't even take another phone call for Drunk of the Week.
It's not going to happen.
What?
They won't scream?
Well, I'm just saying I'm not going to get a boner.
Why wouldn't? But it just has to move.
It just has to move.
That's
so if it moves, you lose.
No, I think it has to go above 45.
What?
Otherwise, he could just make it move and wiggle, and they'd scream, and they'd win.
It just has to move.
My wife just said, "What did I marry?" And my roommate just said, "What did you say, Randy?" Yeah, and Randy said, "I'm scared." Yeah.
What's she so afraid of?
That was she
boner, apparently.
And why won't my boner chicken intro play? I'm trying to play it here for the last 5 minutes.
If it moves, you lose.
Yeah, that is.
So remember that.
Those are the rules.
Yeah.
You have to. I mean, we're going to sit here and wait until it moves.
Well, it's like a 10-second rule.
If it moves,
that sounds like good radio.
You have no idea. Compared to the rest of tonight, it's like Oscar-winning radio.
Well, after you lose, we're going to do the Dortmunder, export show again.
Challenge.
What about poor Don Russell? That was a good interview.
Don
did great.
That's true. Don was fine. All right, are you ready?
Okay. So you want me to drop trout in my boxers, right?
No, penis out.
Oh, come
Dude, it's
on.
called boner chicken, not boxer chicken.
Thank you, Bevo.
Stare at my boxers. Stare at my boxers. No.
I put them on speaker?
Yeah, put them on speaker. And they got a Brewer's code, too, by the way.
They put the boner on speaker, too.
Yeah, no fake boner. You got to put the wiener out.
And if it moves,
I have to put
you lose.
Out? The ranch... No, I'm not FaceTiming this. These guys are just going up.
Yeah, it's all on video.
Bro, please, I need to see your wiener.
They don't need to see my wiener.
All right, that's a negative.
All right, I got to take other callers.
No, that's not negative.
Well, that is true. Just because they don't need to see it doesn't mean that they won't.
Yes.
Right, exactly.
Need is such a broad term.
Right.
So, are you going to play boner chicken with your wife and her friend, your friend,
or not?
And they're going to see it move, and then they're going to scream. Is that what you're saying?
And then you lose.
They both, and I don't care. We're going to sit here while they stare at your wiener.
And we have to hear 2 screams.
Is there a time
Not
limit?
just one.
Like a 15-second window?
No.
So we're playing until he loses.
Yeah, okay. And then he wins.
Oh, okay.
Now you got it.
I guess so.
You win to lose. Or lose to win.
Can I ask a question, though?
Of course.
I don't know why I can't find boner chicken.
Will it be hard to see when you pull everything down? Is it like a rock in a pile of weeds kind of thing? Or
is it a shy turtle?
Go ahead.
I dropped out already.
All right. Are they both looking, and your roommate's looking too?
She's trying not to, but I'm sure she's seen.
She has to stare at it, bro.
It's time for the Brewing Network's latest game, Boner Chicken! Stare at my boner, stare at my boner. It moved, you lose, Boner Chicken!
Has it moved yet?
Not yet.
What did
they're saying it looks fucking.
It looks disgusting.
Wait, put your roommate on, please.
Get it out of
Seriously.
context.
Put your roommate on.
Put your roommate on.
I don't think she wants to talk to you guys. Randy, they want to talk to you.
I want to talk to Lauren.
You want to talk to my wife?
Sure.
All right.
But we want to talk to your roommate more.
We've got to talk to both.
We did not agree to this.
But did you?
FYI.
Oh, really? He's grossing you out?
But did you both just look at it?
Yeah, it just looks like he's tucking. He doesn't look very excited to be in front of us.
Well, why don't you fix that?
Ew.
Embarrassed.
I don't even want to see that.
Just blow on it or something.
Flick it.
It'll probably be the most. Yeah.
Just flick it real quick.
Flick him in the sack.
Oh, gosh.
can't get a boner. I'm sorry.
His wife calls him out.
Okay, all right. Ask him if he can move it manually, not with his hands, but if he has any muscular function over it, just tell him to move it for you.
I have MS. I can't do anything.
But I want you both staring at it because I guarantee you, if he can do it, it's going to look creepy.
We prefer right to left rather than up and down.
Go ahead, please. Go ahead, please.
I think it's broken.
All right, we'll spit beer.
Can he push it inside of himself?
Oh my God!
So he can't even move it manually.
Yeah, with a little.
Not right now.
Oh, he's sucking it.
This is gross.
It's gross.
So does this mean he's won since it hasn't moved?
I guess he just won the first game of Boner Chicken. I don't know.
We still need to figure the rules
But
out.
he's playing it sans.
But it's not supposed to tuck.
Why would it be tucking?
Oh, yeah, he should tuck.
He is tucking.
Again.
That's what she said.
Oh, I thought she said he was touching it.
He's
No.
tucking.
No, it's literally crawling inside of him as we're talking.
Ew. No babies tonight.
Any other activity?
Pretty much nothing.
Tonight?
Yeah. Listen, buddy, there's going to be no activity for you for a couple of weeks after this.
Thanks to you guys. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, I'll tell you, if you can both, what's your name, the wife? Lauren, can you promise me, it's Brewer's Code, you got to be honest. She sounds disgusted enough, I already know she's being honest.
Lauren.
Have both you and the roommate looked at your husband's wiener?
Yes.
Then he wins Drunk of the Week. I told him if he did it, and also that I would give him a hoodie. So, you can be proud of him. He just saved $30.
Yeah, and he'd,
We all, we deserve the hoodie more than he does.
I'll tell you what, Lauren, I'm going to throw some lady shirts in there, too.
Lauren, what you need is a blindfold from now on.
Yeah, we need to rewind the last 15 minutes of our lives.
Yeah.
You need a hop grenade blindfold.
Poor guy, that's the most action he's probably gotten in a month.
So I think that there should be a new level of Boner Chicken.
Yeah.
But it's like Boner Chicken Secret, where you start to play Boner Chicken, but you actually just bust out a taser and tase the person.
Boner Chicken Secret.
Oh, yeah. No. Bevo's not very good at marketing, but he sure has good ideas.
Yeah, the secret is I'm about to tase your wiener.
That's like rock, paper, balls.
All right, Lauren and Slow Brewer, you both have, Slow Brewer won Drunk of the Week, but Lauren, we're going to send you some swag, too.
Slow Boner?
You're a good sport. Thanks
you have a new name.
Thanks for dealing with it.
Slow Boner.
Thanks for dealing with the bullshit.
No Boner.
Can we get,
Slow Boner, send me an email. Actually, send it to JP. JP at thebrewingnetwork.com. Include your size and include Lauren's size. And fuck it, your poor roommate. Include her size, too, and we'll send you all some shirts. And
awesome.
hey, listen, I know deep down I just made your dream come true. He's been waiting to show that girl his wiener for a long time.
Oh, for sure.
All right, buddy. Congratulations. Thank you for playing.
Nice work. So yeah, that means right. I mean, if it moves, you lose, and his didn't move. That's a win.
That is definitely a win.
He's the reigning champ.
As long as we're giving away hoodies.
Stare at my boner, stare at my boner. It moved, you lose. Boner Chicken. Stare at my boner, stare at my boner, stare at my boner, stare at my boner.
All right, Chris is on the line. He's got a question about Tasty's wheat. Chris, what's happening?
Wheat?
What's up? Who's this?
Who's this?
This is Bevo.
Who's this? Hey.
This is Anderson
Am I on the air?
Yeah. What's happening, brother?
Not too much. Just listening to Whiskey Dick there. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to
You mean old
follow that.
Slow Boner?
He said he was a 7, so...
Slow Boner.
You got a question for Tasty?
Yeah, he was talking about that wheat ale with experimental 6300 a couple shows back.
Well, that was a pale ale, but it wasn't a wheat ale.
Oh, pale ale, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I just brewed a pale ale with a hop, and I was just wondering kind of about your hopping rates, because it seems like it's a little mellow, so.
You know, I think I had it at about 40 IBUs, like 20 at 60 minutes and then 20 at 10 and later. I thought the hop actually had a harsh, kind of a harsh bitterness because I think it's a high cohumulin hop, so it's going to have that sort of offensive sort of harshness to it. That was my experience with it.
JP.
So we lowered it.
I would use a lot fewer IBUs with that hop. Nor would I wouldn't make that a single hop beer. It's just too one-dimensional for me.
All right, brother. Thank you for the phone call. I have Kirk on line 4, although he was calling in for Drunk of the Week. He's a little bit late. Kirk, what's happening, buddy?
Kirk.
Not much. How you guys doing tonight?
We're doing all right. How are you, man?
Doing all right.
Kirk sounds like Stephen Hawking for a second. He's talking through a speaking spell. Kirk, you were calling in for Drunk of the Week?
Yes, I was calling for Drunk of the Week.
You do sound drunk. You also sound like you're sitting at the back of a very long room with the phone in the front.
He's in his warehouse where he keeps all the bodies. That's where he is.
But we just gave away Drunk of the Week to Slow Brewer because he played Boner Chicken with his wife and his roommate.
Yeah, you didn't give me the opportunity to play Boner Chicken with Blobber, and that pisses me off.
Well, are you in the room with Blobber?
No, I'm not in the room with Blobber, but I'm in the room that you would associate with Boner Chicken. I'm in
the trunk of the car? I don't know what that means.
Hustler Club?
Starbucks?
Costco? I'm not sure.
Poker room? Planned Parenthood?
Public library?
Planned Parenthood, yeah. If ever a boner was a chicken, it would be in Planned Parenthood.
Boner chicken.
Yeah. Sorry, Kirk. Thank you for the call. You're going to have to try again. We blew our wad, so to speak, on Slow Boner.
It's a big wad.
All right. Let's do some feedback. I wonder if my feedback audio is going to work. It seems like my audio thing is failing, too, which is sort of the story of my
We
show.
do have someone trying to, I think, Skype in.
You've got mail.
Kick ass.
All right, feedback's brought to you today by our good friends over at White Labs. If you haven't been there recently, go check out whitelabs.com. They've got an all-new website over at White Labs, and it's pretty badass. It's easy to navigate, and you can go check out all the same homebrew information and even more over at whitelabs.com. Also, if you didn't know it, you could use Yeastman on White Labs and order yeast directly from White Labs. It's a pretty badass piece of software that they've put out. And if you don't have a local homebrew shop, you can order directly from Yeastman. So go check it out over at whitelabs.com, and you'll get everything that you need. All right, in the feedback today, Dearest Fucksticks. Theft writes in, I took a chance and tried the brew in a bag technique. I had a couple of questions. Great. Any other show, I would have been stoked about this, but
shit.
My strike water was 11 gallons. I was hesitant to use too much, but my final amount was 7.5 gallons, and the pre-boil gravity was 1038. I needed to get to 1048, so I boiled for 2 hours to get to that. My questions are, does it make a difference that I boiled my hops for that long? And has anyone there had any good tips for brew in a bag? That's Theft, BN Army, Northern Division.
Yes, it does, and don't do that.
The hops will plateau after a while, so you're only going to get so much out. In 60 minutes, you're going to get 26 to 28%.
Yeah, utilization.
And then,
he's doing like a 90 or 120 minute.
Yeah, and then you're only
getting 60. It's going to get something.
It's going to get some more, but not that much more. It'll plateau out. So don't worry too much about that. Caramelization is going to be more of a problem for a longer boil. So it depends on what kind of beer it is. If you're doing something light, an ale, something yellow, yeah, it's going to be a problem. If you're doing something that's going to be caramely, not so much of a problem.
So when you're boiling down like that, your target is a certain pre-boil gravity.
Right.
That's what he's going for. Once you get to the pre-boil gravity, that's when you want to add your first hops. Not as soon as it comes to a boil before you even know what you got. No, you do it,
So that's what we do around here, and essentially your pre-boil gravity, which is how you calculate where your post-boil gravity is going to be, should be a 60-minute mark, essentially. Or you could do a 90-minute, whatever you want to do. But essentially, you don't add your hops there at the beginning, like Tasty said.
You didn't ruin your beer, so just keep it rolling. But you can do the math, figure out your system, what 2 hours is going to boil off, and then add it in so you know you got 60 minutes for the hop edition.
There you go. Other than that, we don't have a lot of tips for brew in a bag, but I'll tell you who does. Our good friend over at Chop and Brew, Chip Walton. He was on the show not too long ago, and we talked about how he was doing some brew in the bag techniques, and I think he does it quite a bit. So do a search for Chop and Brew, and send Chip an email, because he can answer your brew in a bag stuff. That's what they do there in the Midwest, apparently.
They just brew in bags.
Yeah.
That's all they do.
Well, yeah.
All right, Matt writes in, and this one's kind of concise and to the point. I think the first part doesn't matter too much, but I'll read it anyway. He says, hey, everyone. Number 1, I fill the HLT with 8 gallons of water. It's the hot liquor tank. Number 2, I add brewing salts for 8 gallons of water.
Okay.
Number 3, I transfer the water needed to the mash tun. Number 4, I bring the HLT back up to 8 gallons for HLT heat transfer coil. When I sparge with the water in the HLT after adding more water, do I need to add more salts to the HLT so that everything is the same and not diluted down? I hope this makes sense. I'm trying to keep it short for you. Later, Asshats Matt. Matt, thank you for keeping it short. And guys, did you understand the question, basically?
Yeah, I did.
What do we got? Does it matter? Does he have to add more salts back to the HLT after he's already sorted it all out?
I always figure in the salts are for what my final volume of beer is going to be. You're going to lose some in the sparge. You're going to lose some in the grain, but it's better to be a little under than over. So if you're going for 5 gallons of beer, put the salts in for 5 gallons of beer. The salts in the mash are going to be for conversions and enzymes. They're not as important in quantity as for the flavoring enzyme or the flavoring salts. But if you overdo it, you're going to be more sad than if you underdo it.
Okay.
So you don't worry about so much about the pre-boil and the mash and the hot liquor tank volumes as much as you are in the finished beer volume that's going in the fermenter.
Okay. So
figure it out for whatever. If 5 gallons goes into the fermenter, add it for 5 gallons.
Okay, so I get that with measuring the salts. I think the other part of the question, though, is he's kind of splitting. He's adding all the salts to 1 volume of water, right, in the hot liquor tank.
The strike water.
But then but all the water, not just the strike water.
No, he's doing just the strike water. And then he refills the kettle up with his sparge water.
Okay.
He wants to know, should he treat that or not?
And should he, Tasty?
Well, I do, but he doesn't necessarily have to. Like Doc's saying.
Yeah,
there's a lot of stuff inherently in the grain. You're adding minerals to the mash.
So you can put it all in your strike water if you've calculated for the volume of what you want to get out. Let's make it simple.
I've gotten down. I put all the salt in the mash.
Okay.
Because stuff doesn't dissolve in the hot liquor tank.
Got it.
But if you're going to use the hot liquor tank to sparge, and the pH is going to be too high, you need to acidify that down. So as you're diluting the mash when you're sparging, that the pH of the mash doesn't come back up.
Okay.
So the only thing you want to add back into your sparge water at that point is going to be acid.
Or like a 5.2 stabilizer, something like that.
That's going to be salts too. But you want to acidify your sparge water, because as you sparge, if you're doing fly sparging,
okay,
you're going to be diluting the mash, and then the buffers in the mash are going to be going away.
Okay,
and the mash pH comes up, and that's where you start getting your tannins and things out of the.
So it sounds to me like the easy way for this young man to do it is just to put all the salts in the mash. And not worry about it.
All the salts in the mash.
Yep.
And figure out the volume of the finished beer. So if you have 5 gallons of finished beer, that's how much salt you put in for 5 gallons, not for 8 gallons. Then when he goes to his hot liquor tank and he puts those in, and he's going to be using that for sparge water.
Yeah.
Acidify the sparge water, usually with lactic or phosphoric.
Okay.
Just to get it down below 7.
Yep.
And then you're good. Don't put salts back into the hot liquor tank.
All right. Andrew writes in, hey, Justin, I have a quick question. I've been brewing all grain for about a year now, and I always count it on my system giving me about 64% efficiency using a batch sparge method. I recently picked up the 5.2 mash stabilizer product. And by the way, 5 Star is a wonderful new sponsor of this program, so I know everybody uses their stuff, and it's wonderful to see. And that's what 5.2 is, too. Using it After using 5.2, my mash efficiency kicked up to 73% in my last 2 batches. I don't hear you guys talk about this product very often, and I understand that pH has an effect on efficiency, but I wasn't expecting a 9-point jump. Has anyone else encountered this? I would preface the answer to this question by I had never heard that pH affects the efficiency, so that, or maybe I have heard it, but it went in one ear and out the other. So help us both out with this.
Enzymes work better in a certain pH range. Period. So if you are on the low or the high end of that, they don't work as fast or as efficient.
Okay.
So the 5.2 gets you into that range, so your efficiency is going to be better. These enzymes are going to be breaking up those long chain sugars into more digestible sugars. The problem with 5.2 is it gives a little bit of a minerally flavor to it. So think about what kind of beer you're going to be making. If you're going to be making a Saison, if you're going to be making a Bass Ale, something that's got some mineral quality to it that actually accentuates that, it's great for that.
Okay.
If you're doing a sweet beer, you got other ways of moving your mash pH into that range.
Okay. Is a 9-point jump in efficiency, does that sound common?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So there you go.
Especially if he was doing nothing before, and I don't know about his regular water. Whatever he's pulling off the tap, I don't know what that is.
Okay. His second question was he's been reading Charlie Papazian's Microbrewed Adventures, and a lot of the recipes include acidulated malt. Will using 5.2 cancel out the desired effects of acidulated malts? He says, as they're both used to adjust the pH of a mash.
It'll dumb it down a little bit. Acidulated malt, you're only supposed to use 5-7%, maybe 10%. It gives some acid quality to certain kinds of grist.
Okay.
But the whole thing about 5.2 is the buffer. Buffers are something. It's like a leash on a dog, and it holds it in and pulls it back to where it's supposed to be.
Okay.
So yeah, it's gonna hold it back a little bit,
like a leash on a gimp.
Like okay.
I have one of those. All right, Dave writes in. Hey, Brewcasters, I'm a private in the BN Army and recently ordered a warhead based on Doc's slurry endorsement of a recent Sunday session, from a recent Sunday session, and the AHA membership. He ordered that as well, on Jamil's nagging on Brewing with Style.
Get a thing.
So he got a nice new BN warhead plus a membership. He says, to my surprise, they arrived less than 1 week from placing my order, and just in time to go to a screening of the Beer Hunter movie at my local beer bar last night. You guys joke that you're lazy and stupid. Clearly that's not true. You're capable enough to work in a pack and ship store.
That's all we are to him.
And did he say anything about
ship store?
Anything about the warhead and how cool that thing is?
No.
Let's be honest. It's all we are, period.
So.
Also, Doc is right on. The warhead is fantastic and worth the cost. No glass to break, no need for a cooler. Suck it to the BN and Brewcaster critics. From Dave, older than Tasty and waiting for the heart attack in South Florida. Okay, let's see. Nice work writes in. Just to be perfectly clear on the subject, Moscow's sound effects interruptions are totally fucking shit. It kills your timing and momentum. You shouldn't have to get used to it because it adds nothing but confusion. Did Scott really get positive feedback about it, or is he just a lying cunt? And then he goes on to say other things. Here's another one. Keep going with the soundboard. I love it. Sent from my soundboard.
Oh, thank you very much.
That's another guy. And one more. No, it's just another thing about a stupid squeaky noise in the studio or something.
I thought it was pretty funny, though.
It's not.
No?
No. It's fine. Not at this point in the show. maybe about 8 hours ago, it was funny. Now it's stupid. All right, feedback is brought to you today by White Labs. Go to whitelabs.com. Check out their new website.
White Labs, never stupid. Right?
Exactly. I think we're done.
Pies is on the line.
Oh, we got to do Twitter game, though.
Yeah, and Pies is on the line.
Yeah. What does he want?
He wants to talk about his dead dog.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm positive.
Pies, what's happening, brother?
Hello.
Hi, buddy.
That doesn't even sound like a right word.
Are you all right? What happened to the dog?
Yeah. What do you look? She had a bad time. My dog. What do you mean? Have you got prior information or something?
I just want to know what happened to the dog.
She had a bad tongue.
She was sick. She had a disease. She had a disease called canine Addison's disease. It's a disease where you really got to stay on top of things, otherwise they can go downhill very quickly. She had medication. I went to the vet and I said, "Have you got some more medication for my dog?" And they said, "Well, we thought we did, but we don't." And anyway,
what kind of dog?
I had to wait a couple of days to get some. She was a beagle. She was a beautiful beagle. She was lovely. The only thing she would ever do to someone was lick them to death. She was the most beautiful dog in the world, and
now she's gone.
You've seen them all.
I feel really bad that she's not with us anymore. Yeah.
How long did you have the old girl? 6 weeks.
I had her about 7 years, 6.5, 7 years. It's too young, and she's too young to die, man. Like, it's young.
I agree with you.
That's like a 25-year-old. She should be out rooting her ass off. But
yeah, she'd be out showing her tits.
I did the responsible thing, and had her sick when she was born, so she couldn't do that. So the best she had to look forward to was living 15 years with me.
Right, and she didn't even get that. She only got 7 years with you.
Yeah,
that's enough with you.
Could have been 6.
What method of disposal did you? Of memorial did you use?
Thanks very much, JP. No, don't let that go, JP. You're a cunt. Could have been 6.
Yeah,
she could have been happy with 6.
Look at the bright side. It could have been worse.
No,
you couldn't have.
Don't look at the bright. Look at all the cats. Look at all the cats that could have got in a Hessian bag and got in the river when they first met you. That's you.
I know exactly.
Right, and instead, JP saved them all.
Yes,
he has 80.
Yeah.
You want to?
Yeah, lucky cats.
They are lucky, by the way.
All right, let me try to help you through this.
They're not lucky. They're going to live with you.
Up next on the Cut Yourself Hour.
I'm going to try to help you here. Who ate all the pies? What method of
disposal?
Euthanasia? Dealing with the body did you use? Did you cremate the dog and keep it?
Youth in Australia.
Buried in the outback.
What'd you do?
It's an expensive exercise. But I've chosen to have her cremated and put in a little box.
Yeah.
A little box with a photo plaque on it, so you can put a little photo of your favorite photo of the dog on there.
Yeah,
I've got a stack of those boxes.
And did you put an inscription?
No, well they come with a little brass plaque that says her name. And then I can put a photo in the little photo box part.
Well, you gotta put it by your bed, and you gotta cry every night for the next month, and I don't know, it sucks.
A dingo ate my bagel.
I've cried every night. Since she's gone. I really I've cried non-stop since she's gone. It's amazing. Fuck, this is the first dog that's ever affected me.
I can just imagine who ate all the pies crying like a little girl.
I can imagine him yelling, crying.
Oh, God!
Laugh all you want! Fuck you! Fuck you!
Like anger tears.
I'm a nice guy, you don't... Yeah.
All his tears come out like knives, like little tiny knives.
I'm sorry, Pies. I do have sympathy, but you're such a big dude, and I'm just picturing you screaming about this loss of yours. I do have sympathy.
Oh, thanks. Thanks for carrying fuck all.
Thanks for sharing.
I've done myself silly. I started at 10 a.m. this morning. I've done myself silly to talk to you guys because I knew you wouldn't listen to someone who's just who's just lost a dog, you at least want me to be drunk to talk to you. So I done this silly from 10 a.m. just to talk to you. I didn't even know if I could actually fucking talk to you because my fucking computer had problems with Java and whatnot. Anyway, I'm finally got through it, and everybody just laugh at me.
Pies.
I'll give you $100.
I don't like that. They laugh at me.
Pies.
Yes.
Are you fucking crying right now like a little bitch?
I'm not crying. I'm holding myself together right now, but I cried this morning.
It's just dirt in his eye.
It's just
his dog in his eye.
It's a dingo in his eye.
JP.
Scott said it. I didn't say it.
Pies.
I'll give you $100 if you tell me what he said in that rant.
That's right. I had to.
It was Martian.
I don't know.
Please listen to shows on the other side of the road, you idiot.
Listen. It's never good. Doc and I have both cried like little girls over our box of dogs.
Oh God, yeah.
Boxes of dogs.
I've got boxes of dogs,
and it's never good. And you gotta. Here's my Major League Baseball. You gotta pick yourself up. You gotta get back on the horse. You gotta take another swing of the bat.
Crying little bitch.
You gotta walk into a new day. You gotta pick yourself up by your bootstraps.
Crying little bitch.
You gotta walk into the daylight, and you gotta know that it's a new day.
Because you see the daylight.
Crying little bitch.
Oh.
It's a good thing cats don't die.
Why does JP have to be such an asshole in this situation?
I didn't say anything!
I don't know.
Who's gonna get the box?
I'm sorry about the beagle pies. I am.
Should've got a lab instead, I guess.
Thank you.
Oh, my lab's about to die, too.
You want to hear my resume while I'm here?
Yeah.
You want to hear my resume? I've got a freaking fucking serious resume while I'm here.
Yeah, let's do it.
What time is it there?
You hear?
7 a.m.
Well, I started at 10:30 when the basketball kicked off.
He's not that sad.
So I've done basketball, yeah, like Indiana and Miami, like Game 7. Eastern Conference Finals.
I'm not going to miss that. I mean, listen, it's not like my mom died.
I think he said what time it was in his rant, but
10:30.
Yeah, okay.
It's like the biggest game of sport in your country today.
No, it's actually
but not in your country.
Well, two things. Number one, I'm a girl and I
the
don't
shot's
care.
already gone. Fuck you. You don't count.
Oh no, actually, that's it. I'm a girl and I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, give me your resume. Do it.
Anyway, listen. So I had a long neck of my homebrew pale ale, which was just to get me warmed up, because just warm up. Then I had a glass of a mead from. I went to Mudgee last weekend to watch my football team play. We moved a home game out to Mudgee in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, go Eels, huh? Yeah.
We got pumped by 40. Yeah, but I brought a bottle of mead out there, and I drank a glass of that, and it was good. So I had a glass of mead. Are you there?
Yeah.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
How does his resume start last week?
It always goes like this. And then I got
they brought the bottle last week, but they didn't drink it until today.
And I went to get it. I got this cramp in my leg. I've been getting cramps lately. I haven't been taking my vitamins. But I ended up.
Funnily enough, I feel the fittest I've ever felt in about 5 years.
Yeah, well, look in the mirror.
I'm amazing. I'm under 120 kilos. But anyway,
that's like
I drank a Monteith's Apricot Whiskey, Monteith's IPA, 4 Balmain Pale Ales, a Mio 100, a Cuvée de Noël
Just read the credit.
Saint-Étienne. It's a Belgian Christmas beer.
Yeah. Thank you to our show sponsor, More Beer. You can get absolutely everything you need to make great beer at home by going to morebeer.com. Follow JP on Twitter at Major Jip so he doesn't have to add you as a friend and on Facebook and then hide you.
Scott, keep going.
Scott is on Twitter when he feels like it. Follow him at Moscow Paints.
Keep going. We're listening.
For some good beer
Stone and Wood limited release.
For some good beer inside info at Homebrew Info, follow Nate Smith at Nathan Homebrew and Mike McDowell at Tasty McD.
Damn it was almost good, but we have to do the Twitter game.
No.
I got people texting me on they're hoping they won't.
I want to know. All right, Pies.
I love you, Pies.
I love you too.
You're a good buddy.
And I'm sorry. I am.
Get a cat.
No,
Or chicken,
The
right?
cat's just going
Or
to die.
chicken.
You need to stay alone for a little while. You need to find yourself again.
Well, there's issues with that because I think my missus doesn't want me to be alone away from her for any extended periods of time at the minute.
I didn't say you have to leave your wife. I said don't get another pet for a little while. Until you
Get a
find
turtle.
yourself.
It'll outlive you, and it will cry when you die.
There's some trust issues at the moment, that's all.
Oh,
do you have a handgun?
Wait a second. Hang on a second. What did you do? Did you go out? You went out and cheated on your wife?
Well,
they're on their back.
I don't know. How public is this?
Nobody listens to this program.
Yeah.
It's just me and you, buddy. It's just me and you in a room talking about your trust issues. What'd you do?
I did some things when I was in the States.
Oh, dear.
When I was in the States, I did some things.
Let's just cut this.
How does she know?
I was outside of my postal code, so
That's true. How does she know about that? Oh, wait. I thought she came with you to the States.
She did come with me to the States.
Well, then the postal code doesn't count if you bring her.
Does she join in?
Yeah, she was pregnant. So she was for most of the times when things happened, she was asleep
and pregnant
in the hotel room, and then I went out and did other things afterwards, or that kind of thing. Yeah.
You went out and got a blowy.
I can't believe I'm talking about this. Oh my god!
I can't believe you're talking about it either. I can't believe you did it. What the hell?
Good on you.
And then what happened? You came back and you told her? You confessed your wrongs?
No, she found out about it all the ways. I don't even know how she found out.
Because it's a friend of hers.
Can we stop talking about it? Oh my god! Like, yeah, she found out about it some other way, and then
because your penis still smelled like dude.
Yeah. No.
Man. Pies. Well, your life's a mess right now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not really. No, we're comfortable. We're happy. We're fine.
Good.
All right. Even with the dead dog and everything, it's all right.
We're fine. I've got to get the biggest problem at the moment is telling a 2-year-old that the dog in the backyard is never going to return to the backyard. That's my biggest problem right now.
Daddy, where did the dog go? He's in the backyard. When's he coming back? I don't know.
Never. It's been a dog. I thought he lost a table. I had no idea what he was talking about.
How about when you tell the kid to go play in the backyard? Not going to want to go there.
Well, Pies, this has been my favorite conversation with you ever. And I miss you, buddy.
Thanks.
All right.
Yeah, well, I'll see you in Grand Rapids.
Okay.
Ooh.
That's the next NHC. That's in 2 years. So not this one, but the... All right, Pies.
It's actually only 1
Hey,
year.
hang in there. Don't get another dog yet. Just
Everyone
hang in
else
there,
did.
and everything's going to be fine.
No, they didn't. They're drunk.
All right, buddy.
Thank you.
Later.
All right, Pies.
All right, bye.
What the hell just happened?
I don't know, but is this how Oprah feels?
Oh,
but like skinny and whiter.
Gee.
Did we really just get that story?
Scooped it.
I tried to stop listening.
What tried?
Tried to stop.
I was like, well,
how public is this?
There's some trust issue. I mean, he didn't have to say any of that.
Oh, no, nobody's going to hear this.
Apparently he had to. He was compelled.
I do feel like after that, I should... we can still send the gifts to Boner Chicken Guy, but the medal goes to Pies. I mean, the man's drunk enough to confess his infidelity.
Do you really want to
His
pay...
indiscretions on a...
on a not-so-public
on
network.
a blowy? Do you want to pay $23.42 to mail a medal to him?
Yes.
All right.
After that?
All right.
And he even confessed to how heavy he is.
Yeah. 123 kilograms.
Did you know about the blowy, JP?
No, I had no idea.
Did he say blowy?
No, JP said
Just
that. That's
assuming
why I
that?
was wondering if you knew.
It was neither confirmed nor denied.
What kind of mess was the broad? Have you seen Pies?
Pies is a giant man.
Is it that bad?
He's probably packing some nice
You know
goods
what?
down there. You never know.
He's large, but he's not unattractive.
Okay.
Wow.
Not attractive.
Baby's large everywhere.
123 kilograms?
How much
271 pounds.
How much stone is that?
He was like 340 when we saw him. Dude's like 7 foot tall.
No, he is taller than me. So
He's a tall dude, and
So-
he was
So he's like Paxton big?
7
Yes.
foot of
Yes.
love.
Justin.
Oh, my
stop
God.
it.
7 foot of love in another hotel room.
You know what? Somebody just wanted to take that train.
How do you know it was a train?
Because
there's more than one.
It was the train to nowhere.
He kind of sounds like a train. It sounds like a train, doesn't it?
I was close. It's 19 stone, Doc.
I had no idea what he was saying.
I
love him.
I do love him too. Do you still?
Yeah, well, people make mistakes. I'm not married to him. I don't have to.
Right.
That's not my thing.
We weren't sure he cheated with
Anybody? We don't know. Doc said he doesn't know it wasn't Bevo.
Was it almost 2 years ago?
No. And no.
We don't know that.
We don't know that. Prove
Maybe
it.
that's why he was so willing to talk about it on our show.
Oh, or the fact that if it wasn't a really public thing.
Bevo, did you give him a handy?
No. First of all,
An old
do I
fashioned.
look like I have?
An old fashioned
Wait a
left
minute.
in you.
Just stop talking.
Yeah, because that's going to work.
First of all, number one, do I look like I even like to get down with Sam? The hell makes you think I get down with another drunk retard?
I don't know.
Love you, Pies.
It's the
Love you,
accent.
Sammy.
It's the accent.
All right.
I do love me some accents, but come on.
Yes, I will take one of those too.
How come I'm not getting any blowies at NHC?
I don't know.
You're in the
man.
wrong country. In this country, you don't have an accent.
Gain 100 pounds.
I have
Again, I'm sorry, Pies, and I really like you.
And I've been trying
I'm
to
such
stop.
a douche right now.
You're saying I'm going the wrong way, size-wise.
You're trying to look too good.
I should go outward.
Yes.
And I could be getting blowies.
Get the pity blow.
We should just take up jelking.
What is jelking?
It's an exercise that Middle Eastern men do to force blood into their wiener to
Is that what they do?
expand the capillaries, and it makes your wiener bigger.
Is that where they do like push-ups with their dong?
No, that's just
cock push-ups.
Jelking?
Jelking. Look up jelking.
How do you know about jelking?
My friend told me about jelking.
Sure he did.
My friend Taryn. No, I don't know.
My dick hurts now just thinking about jelking.
Joke the hell out of that
Well,
thing.
you gotta lotion it, but usually jelking leads to jerking off. So
It rubs the lotion on the skin.
Rubs
Why
the
do you have
notion.
I'm telling you, just look up jelking. It's a whole thing. You're supposed to heat up the wiener with like a hot towel, and then you put on the baby lotion, and you do that. It's like
It's
like you're milking a cow.
I see.
That's in the Quran.
Okay, wait.
It's in the Quran, yeah.
What friend told you about this?
It's my friend. I don't know. He's like, man, I think
It
I
was
was
a
starting
he?
to jelk.
Gay.
Yeah, of course it was.
Gay.
You can't jelk if you're a female.
Yeah, you're not going to jelk your tits or anything.
All right. Really?
Twitter game, ladies and gentlemen.
Who's the Twitter game brought to you by?
Twitter game was what would if Doc has something to confess to you? What would it be? So,
Yes.
what were our top answers?
Well, from Stink Eye, he's black.
Okay.
Oh.
Did he tell you that?
No, that's Doc's confession.
Oh, I see. I thought you were
Yeah.
telling me that Stink Eye is black.
Oh,
Yeah.
Stink Eye said that Doc's confession is that he's black. Okay. All right.
Sweaty Beer Balls, 3M.
Okay. That's his Twitter handle?
Yeah.
All right.
Contrary to belief, Doc never had a drop of alcohol in his life. It's just his way of dealing with a bad speech impediment.
Okay.
All right.
J-Bone 17171. Actually, it was 1717.
Was J-Bone really taken by so many people that he had to add?
1,716 people, yeah.
I mean, come on.
Popular.
All right.
He only went to dental school for the drugs.
Okay. That's his confession?
That's
Yeah.
true.
That's not funny.
Yeah. It's hardly.
Life sometimes
sadly
isn't
true.
funny. Baruz says he's actually considered quite tall on his home planet.
All right.
Matthew McGee writes, I never inhaled.
Okay.
I should have taken that one out. I took it out and then I put it back in because I thought it was pretty good. And then Dave Malone says his wit beer happens to be an aphrodisiac to goats, and one of them is pregnant. He will call his progeny Docbach.
Okay.
So I'm kind of thinking the last two are gone because they didn't get as near things.
I think the speech impediment was hilarious.
We're at Doc's an alien and speech impediment.
Not he's black.
No.
No.
Can you imagine?
He's black.
Just look at you and
I'm
go.
black.
I'm
it would
black.
be better. I'm not short. I'm black.
It would be weird, but not funny.
Okay. All right. So it's between speech impediment and home planet tallness.
Yeah, it's tough.
Beirut or sweaty beer balls?
I had a few texts to me, and one was, "I dated your mother," and
yeah, but it's the Twitter game.
Yeah,
no one sent that into Twitter.
That's
They
true.
should have.
They don't get to compete if they didn't put
they
it.
don't get
But
to
that is a good one. That you would tell somebody, "I actually dated your mother."
I dated your mother.
Anything else that was funny in there?
Yeah. Well, Steve-O. It was Steve-O. I am your father.
Okay.
Great.
I'm going with stock speech impediment.
I agree.
All right, Tasty?
No problem with that at all.
I
Beef?
agree.
All right, what's that guy's name?
Sweaty beer balls.
Sweaty beer balls.
Read it again.
Our winner.
Contrary to belief, Doc has never had a drop of alcohol in his life. It's just his way of dealing with a bad speech impediment.
Right.
Rabble.
Congratulations. Send an email to jp@thebrewingnetwork.com. He's going to get you everything that you need for winning the Twitter game.
Get you.
All right, next week's show, it's another Monday show. It's a month of Mondays here. And
month of Mondays?
We've got Tom Hennessy on the program, who I believe wrote the brewery operations manual. Is that right?
Yeah, he also produced a DVD in the mid-'90s called Frankenbrew about building a system out of different parts. So he's an interesting dude.
Awesome. Tune in next week. It's a Monday night show. It means it starts at 6 p.m. for Tom Hennessy of the Brewer Operations Manual and Frankenbrew. Is that it, Mosk? Have I done my job?
Oh, better than you could possibly imagine.
And then some.
All right. Do it again, Jip.
Thank you to our show sponsor, More Beer. You can get absolutely everything you need to make great beer at home by going to morebeer.com. Follow JP on Twitter at Major Jip so he doesn't have to add you as a friend on Facebook and then hide you. Scott's on Twitter when he feels like it. Follow him at Moscow Paints. For some good beer insight and homebrew info, follow Nate Smith at Nathan Homebrew and Mike McDowell at Tasty McD. If you want the best growler that your hard-earned money can buy, head on over to the BN store and check out the Warhead. This session has been produced by Scott Moskowitz. Our production director was Push Eject. JP farted quietly throughout the show. Your call screener and Target.com mega shopper was Bevo, and your host was Justin Crossley. Be sure to find the Brewing Network on Facebook and Twitter.
JP's an asshole. Justin's a nice guy, and when